Hello. Jaswinder sir, are you getting my voice?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you. A very good evening, students. And today we are having the third day of the workshop on power of communication. I welcome all of you. So, expert Kamal Sharma will join us within 5 minutes. So, please
Ma'am, wait for some time. जब तक भारती मैम और वो कुलदीप सर ना जुड़ जाएं, एक बार मैं उनसे संपर्क करके आपको बताता हूँ. आई एम ऑडिबल मैम? मैम आप अनम्यूट कीजिए.
yes, sir. Okay, you are audible.
ओके मैम. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच.
Okay. Dr. Jaswinder, please ask the team to make Mr. Kamal Sharma host. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you. Dr. Samriddhi. कैसे हैं आप? All well?
Very fine, sir.
What
Thank you so much.
sudden change in the program.
Yeah, that's why we are very grateful to you that you accepted on such a short notice. Thank you, sir.
Such a short notice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Right back home, almost
Right back home.
kilometers back home. Okay.
Very good afternoon to all. A good evening, rather. Ritu Bajaj this side.
Ma'am, please open your camera.
Abhi, I've just entered home.
Okay.
I'm not in
Okay,
that state to open the camera. Just thought of saying hello to Mr. Kamal. Mr. Kamal, thanks for accepting the change at such a short notice.
Ma'am, can we start the program so that
indeed.
Ma'am, please wait to up to participant 100 हो जाएं जब तक.
Okay, how many participants we have? We've got 90, so I'm 91. Sure students 91. So yeah,
wait for
there will be some of the panel members. So I'm sure the students.
Mr. Kamal, a small request. We have
Yes.
A mixed audience. So if with English, a slightly of Hindi can be used.
I'll try to make it very interactive. I'll try to be a little bilingual as well, ma'am. I would
That would be great.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I would also request if you could also allow me sharing my screen so that the PPT, the content can be shared.
Oh yes,
so
sure.
You are the co-host, sir. All rights have been given to you. You are now the co-host.
Oh, thank you so much. A lot of students attending. So how's been the training program till now? I'm sure students have been really enjoying these sessions.
It was going good, sir. So we are having till now 4 sessions has been there. And yesterday we're having a session of presentation skills. So a practical aspect is they have to make their 1-minute recording and they have to submit it to the department. And the points that has been covered by Professor Romika Batra, on that basis, we are going to evaluate the students.
Fantastic. And I'm sure students would be loving these kind of practical assignments when they're actually exposed to the practical exposures, especially when it comes to the linguistic presentations, when they're supposed to present themselves. So I'm sure students would be learning. And today we'll also try to make it a little interactive. I would also request the participants, the students, hi everyone, if you could, switch on your cameras so that we could make it more human interaction here, one-to-one interaction, because I don't see any point talking to the bunch of letters and bunch of numbers over the screen. So let's try and make it more interactive instead of, making it more conventional, one kind of lecture. So that's what I really not willing to do that. What I want is I really want to make it a kind of teamwork so that we could interact, we could learn from each other. So I would request all the participants, the students, my young friends, obviously, if you could switch on your cameras so that we can make the interaction more productive in a manner so that it could lead to some kind of learning outcomes. And I'm sure we would really be enjoying this session. So I was really excited. So I would request all of you, if you could switch on your camera. I'm sure all of you would love to do that. So if you could make your cameras on so that I could be more human interaction here. guess people are still shy switching on the cameras. Yeah, thank you, Aman. Thank you coming right onto the screen. And I'm sure rest of you would also like to do that. So please let me know, ma'am, when do we have to start the session, right?
Dr. Bajaj, can we start the session?
And one small request, Dr. Bajaj, please, if you could also make this request, if you have this access over the Zoom, if you could ask the people to switch on the cameras. As you know, guys, this whole talk, there was this inaugural session a couple of days back, and it's been given the name Power of Communication. So when we talk about communication, the very first basic fundamental is that it has to be uh, human communication. That's what we are actually referring to. So in order to give it a kind of human outlook, let's have a human interaction here. So please switch on your cameras. And I'm sure the coming 60, old 60 and maybe more than that, the kind of minutes you're going to love, you're going to enjoy. We're not really going to do something as the ordinary, the conventional classes. We'll try and learn from each other. That is what communication is all about. So I would request if you could once again, because I don't find any logic talking to the bunch of letters right on my screen. I could see people switching on the cameras. All my young friends, please switch on the cameras. Especially the talk today. Well, once I am given the green signal by Dr. Bajaj and Dr. Tanwar, then definitely would love to talk to you, my young friends.
Dr. Bajaj. Dr.
Yes,
Bajaj,
please.
can we
Please
start?
Please start. Please do start.
Okay. So, a very good evening to all of you. And I once again welcome you all to the third day of the workshop on power of communication. Today, we are having our eminent speaker, Mr. Kamal Sharma, who is Assistant Director at Training and Corporate Affairs. He is an image consultant, soft skills and behavioral trainer, and a very good motivational speaker and writer. He imparts training on different verticals like communication skills, soft skills, corporate skills, employability skills, and many more for last almost 15 years. He has been associated with some brand fortune corporate as well as academic organization. So it's our pleasure to have Mr. Sharma with us. And now I hand over the session to Mr. Sharma. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I guess it was wonderful introduction. Always wonderful to listen to that. But then, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was, I'm delighted that I've been invited. Thank you, Dr. Tanwar. Thank you, Dr. Bajaj. Thank you, Dr. Jaswinder Singh, and the whole Dr. Chaudhary, Kuldeep Chaudhary. I'm sure he's the program coordinator, must be in the program. And thank you, the whole panel, which is actually working behind this organizing this event, The Power of Communication, which was inaugurated a couple of days back. I'm really excited to meet you guys, and thank you, the whole team of IGU for, well, I would definitely appreciate, the whole team of IGU for organizing such events for the students, giving them more practical exposures, getting them exposed to the people who either who've been into the industry or the who could actually give you the practical exposure to certain things, which definitely gonna help you in your coming orientation towards your life building skills. So thank you, IGU team. And yeah, my name is Kamal, and I've been into training for almost 15 years. So without giving it a long delay, I once again, guys, before I start, I would request once again if you could switch on your cameras so that we could start talking. And I'm sure we are here to talk to each other. That is what communication is all about. Especially the talk which has been given the name today, the interview skills. So the very basic of interview skills, I'm sure we would be coming to the point and discussing about it. जो सबसे पहला basic skill है, let's try and make it that is switch on your cameras जब भी आप virtual interviews, because virtual interviews आजकल that has become very prevalent feature of getting hired to the organization, whether the domestic hiring we are referring to or the international. I have been taking care of that domestic as well as the international hiring. So virtual interviews are very much prevalent. That has come up as a recent development into the hiring process. There used to be virtual interviews earlier as well, but then this is one of those positive things which we have received from COVID. So on the count of three, all cameras on, and let's start talking. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I'm sure the students are switching on their cameras. Okay, so let's start with it. Let me share my screen with you. Let me know if you could see the screen. Just a moment. Guys, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, your screen is visible.
Okay. And like I said in the beginning of the talk, can you see the PPT screen, the full screen, right onto the PowerPoint
Yes,
presentation? Sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. The interview skills we are going to talk about, and just because I would try to go through it very quickly because of the time limitations we have, that is 1 hour, and we'll try to get more and more information out of it. So the next 60 minutes I'm going to spend with you, and let's try and talk to each other, because I would want your participation very much into the talk, because unless you talk, you come up with questions. जब तक आप क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते हैं, जब तक आप अपना इंटरेक्शन मेरे साथ नहीं बनाएंगे, तो the outcome would not be that productive. So I'm sure we'll try to work it out together. Okay, getting hired, that is what the talk is today. Interview skills, that is a kind of, I'm sure a lot of people take it when this word is a kind of nightmare. And when you talk to them about interview, when they're actually preparing for the interview, when it's actually around the corner, and it becomes a kind of nightmare, the closer they go, they tend to lose their confidence. They tend to just fumble, just because interview itself has become, for a lot of people around us, has become a kind of nightmare. So today we'll try to break all the myth. We'll try to work on some of the fundamentals of interview skills, which I'm sure definitely going to help you with preparing yourself in that orientation. And I'm sure all of you students, I do not have the background check of most of you, my young friends, but I'm sure most of you are enrolled into those professional courses where you're looking for a kind of orientation in the coming future, would be definitely looking either for the government sector jobs or the corporate sector. So let's today break the myth of interviews which we carry, which actually let us, break down the nerve system, and we tend to lose our confidence. So getting hired is the talk. Okay, before we start, I just want to ask you a question. I want to start the talk with a simple question, and the question is coming right on your screen. Now, this question is, I want everyone to participate I want everyone to answer the question. Either you could just speak up, either raise your hand and speak up in the talk, or you could simply type in the chat box. So I want you people to participate. This is the question. Let's start this question. It's a kind of no wrong answer question. So there is no wrong answer. Whatever the answer you give, it's not really wrong. The question is simple. Who would you like to hire as a wheelman for your daughter or sister? So most of you are definitely young. So I would say either the daughter or sister. There are three options given right on your screen. Whom would you like to pick up as the driver, the chauffeur, which we call wheelman, for your daughter or sister? I want to see the answers coming right into the chat box, guys. Keep sending me, shoot your answers. Which option would you like to pick? If anybody wants to speak, you can speak, or you could simply, write in the chat box. Yeah, Meenakshi, please, you raised hand. Yeah, thank you. Please go on. If you can switch on your camera, that would be so lovely. So if you could raise on your hand and tell me your option. Pooja, yes, please go on. Meenakshi, what's your, what's option you're picking up?
Jaswinder, sir?
Sir, I would like to.
Yes, Meenakshi, go on, go on. Yeah, please go on. Which option, Meenakshi, would you like to go on with? A, B, or C? Remember that there is no wrong answer to this question. Whether you pick A, B, or C, the answer would be always right. So there is no wrong answer. It's a kind of win-win situation. Whatever the answer is, that is right. So which is your option, Meenakshi?
Sir, C.
C. Okay. Thank you, Meenakshi, for your input. Neha, thank you for raising the hand. Which is your option, Neha? Neha, would you like to tell me your option about it? Sapna, would you like to tell me your option?
B, sir.
Yeah, Sapna, tell me which option. It's a kind of win-win situation, Sapna, so there is no possibility of ending up with the wrong answer. The answer is all correct. So which is your option? If you have to hire one out of these three people as the driver or the chauffeur of your daughter or your sister, whom would you like to pick up? Manish, yes, Manish, would you like to shoot your option? Am I audible, guys? Sheetal, would you like to, you raised your hand, would you like to shoot your option? Anybody, Rashmi, would you like to shoot your option? Would you like to tell me which option you're going for, whether it's A, B, or C? Guys, if you're not willing to talk, you could probably, shoot your options right into the chat box, and I'm sure people are choosing their options. Yes, Rashmi.
C.
Which is your option? C. Okay. Thank you for participating. Manish, would you like to participate in the talk? And I'm sure I would love your participation. Which option would you like to pick up? You need to unmute yourself, Manish. You need to unmute yourself first. No, your mic is muted. So you need to unmute your mic first, and then you speak up. Sheetal, would you like to participate? Guys, let's participate quickly. Let's try and make it more interactive very quickly, because we do not have the whole day. We've just got 60 minutes, and 60 minutes go like this. So keep shooting your options, and I'm sure a lot of people are choosing option C. Okay.
Sir, option C.
Option C. Thank you, Sheetal. A lot of people are choosing option C. Okay. Yes, I'm sure. Okay, like I said, there is no wrong answer, even if you pick up A as your answer, or B or C. What exactly we are doing? My question is, what exactly we are doing here? Can anybody tell me what exactly we are doing while taking up this question? We do not know the background of any of these three, right? So you are picking up option C, some of you are picking up option B, some of you are picking up option A, and we do not know who these people are, not even their names, not even their background checks, not even whether they are, professional chauffeurs or not. But then, we are still picking up options. So what exactly we are doing? Komal, would you like to shoot your option? Would you like to tell me what exactly we are doing handling this question here? Anybody would like to tell me what exactly we are doing?
सर हमें यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक व्हील मैन देखना था, तो हमारे डॉटर के लिए होगा, तो हमने सिर्फ ये देखा कि कोई किसी भी पर्सन की पर्सनालिटी के ऊपर बेस करके हमने देखा कि हाँ, लाइक ही इज बेटर.
He is better. So can we say that we make judgments? What we are doing here, guys, what we are doing here, now try and try and understand what is happening here, that we are trying to make judgment. We don't know the names, we don't know the background check. On the basis of their appearances, the personalities speak up, we are making our judgment, and that is what people do, right? People make judgment about appearances. That's what we did in this question. Like I said, there is no wrong answer, whether you picked up A, you picked up B, or you picked up C. We only made judgment about your appearance. Now, when I say appearance does not completely lead to what kind of cladding you're wearing, what kind of clothes you're wearing. Yes, that is important part of it, but then appearance has certain other senses of sense of responsibility, sense of that actually that is spoken by your personality. So people make judgment, and just give me a moment, I need to share something. Just a moment, guys. Just a moment. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. All right, guys, thank you for waiting for me, and we'll go back to the presentation. So what exactly we did with that question, that we made judgments, and that's what people do, especially when you talk about interview. Interview is, what is the purpose of interview? The purpose of the interview is twofolds, actually. So we'll try and go through the slide before we actually go to the more practical thing. Will definitely help you guys. So let's try and understand that what interview is all about. Interview is all about creating your judgment in the good books of the HR, the interviewer, the people who are actually taking interview, and that starts right from your appearance. What is your appearance? So the very first appearance of the candidate in the interview is exactly when you are shooting a mail, when you're shooting your resume or your CV. That is what your appearance is. So your impression starts right from your appearance. That is obviously how your resume or CV looks like, then how you look like, and people start creating their judgment. Let's try and understand. We are coming right on to the point. Let's try and understand that what is the objective. This is very basic, fundamental. The purpose of an interview is twofold. So the employer needs to find out if you are the best candidate and the suitable resource for the profile or not. You, the second fold, which definitely goes on to your part, you need to find out whether this job is a good opportunity for you or not. Right or not? Khushbu, you raised your hand. Do you have to say something? Please come up. Khushbu, you want to say something? If anybody has to say something, you're all free to say. Please say whatever you want to say. So we could make it more interactive. If anybody has to say something.
Actually, Mr. Sharma, they raised their hand when you asked the question about the wheelman.
Okay,
so
okay,
they forgot to lower down their hand.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tanvir. All right, guys. But still, I would love if we could, have more interaction over the thing. So this is the basic purpose of an interview, whether, no matter which interview you're going for, whether it's one-to-one interview or GD, or you're the panel interview, the behavioral interview, the stress interview, the virtual interview, the telephonic assessment, the kind of screening. So there are different kinds of interviews. We'll definitely talk about them in the later part of the talk. But whatever the interview is, interview कोई भी interview होता है, वो personal है, panel है, group है, GD है, stress interview है. Manish, you want to say something? I'm actually getting consistent notifications on my screen that people are raising hands. So,
hello.
Yes, Manish.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening, Manish.
Sir, what is the basically difference between the CV and resume?
Very good question. Very good question, Manish. And I'm sure a lot of people, have that kind of confusion. Okay, let's take the question first, because resume and CV. Let's try with the basic construction of these words. Resume is a Latin word which means short description. CV, which we call curriculum vitae, that is also a Latin word which means detailed description. So if you have to go, obviously, CV and resume have their own projections and own profiling, which definitely we'll talk about it. So what is the difference? The difference is when you're preparing a resume, that as per, however, there are no hard and fast rule in terms of length of the resume, but as per the market standards, the resume has to be either 1 to 3 pages. That is taken as the standard length of your resume, with the short description of your profiling. So when I say short description of your profiling, that means it should say about you, it should say about who you are, it should say about what you have achieved in terms of education, if you've done some kind of projects, if you have some other achievements, like if you've done some kind of internship, if you're all enrolled into a kind of professional course, the experience if you have, then you can mention those experience, the kind of projects you've taken, the awards if you have won some awards, if there are some publications, you've not done some kind of publication, then you can mention some publication also. But go by the name. That is what is the basic difference between resume and CV. Resume is Latin word which means short description. So the standard length would be 1 to 3 pages. Now, how do we create a resume? Resume and CV have two things which actually make your CV or resume more powerful. That is profiling and projection. So we'll talk about it in later. What is profiling and projection? Profiling, let me help you understand. Profiling is very introvert thing which profiles you, which actually defines you, who you are, what you've done, what are your achievements, and that is what is profiling called. Projection is matching your profiling with the job description, the JD, that is called projection. So when we are doing projection into CV sending, I tell you, a lot of people come and ask this question to me, that Kamal, hey, what happens when, we are sending CV or resume to someone, and then, in the very initial screening, the CVs and resumes are not getting shortlisted, they're actually getting rejected. So I just tell them very simple thing, the simple solution to the problem. And I'm sure some of you might have faced the same problem, that, CVs and resumes actually get, what happened? Guys, am I audible? Oh, yes. Ravan, yes, you raised hand. You have anything to say? So that is the short description, guys, coming back to the point. In comparison to the resume, CV, that is curriculum vitae, another Latin word, that is detailed description. The standard length of your CV should be in between 3 to 12 pages. That is taken as the standard length as per the recent market developments and trends, obviously. That is what we take it as the biodata, generally used for either for the, merit purposes, or when you are actually telling about your personal information. That is what biodata is. So that is the basic difference between CV and the resume. The resume would be the short description about your profiling and projection. CV would be detailed description. Resume would be short description of your profiling and projection. I hope I've answered your question, Manish. Manish, I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Please go on.
Sir, how to prepare my CV?
I tell you, Manish, I tell you.
Okay.
When we are actually preparing CV, two things, like I said, two things are very important to be taken care of. A lot of people, what we do, which is a myth, when we are sending CVs, when we are sending to the organizations, we're applying for different kind of JDs, we are hitting different kind of companies we are approaching. And what a lot of people do, which I find, which is a big problem here in this part of the world, that we generally, हम क्या करते हैं कि बच्चे कैफे पे जाते हैं और कैफे वाले भैया को बोलते हैं, भैया कॉपी पेस्ट करो फॉर्मेट से, और बस वो एक रिज्यूमे बना लिया वहां से, और हमें लगता है कि वो रिज्यूमे है हमारा और हम उसको शूट करते हैं. बहुत बार ऐसा I have found, Manish, that in 70-75% cases, that formatted resume जो आपने फॉर्मेट करके बना लिया है कहीं से, that will get rejected in the initial screening. Because दो चीजें हम जो भूल जाते हैं when we are preparing and shooting our CV or resume to the organization we are applying for. दो important चीजें, profiling and projection. Profiling talks about you, जब हम एक सीवी का स्टैंडर्ड बनाते हैं, सीवी या रिज्यूमे अगर आप बना रहे हैं, रिज्यूमे जैसा मैंने बताया एक शॉर्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन है, स्टैंडर्ड लेंथ है 1 to 3 पेज का होना चाहिए रिज्यूमे। सीवी 3 to 12 पेजेस का, जिसमें डिटेल्ड डिस्क्रिप्शन, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप किसी प्रोजेक्ट की डिटेल्स डाल रहे हैं तो डिटेल उसमें हम डालते हैं कि आपने प्रोजेक्ट किया, कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट किया। इफ यू आर कमिंग फ्रॉम टेक्नोलॉजी बैकग्राउंड, देन विच व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजीज यू यूज्ड, प्रोजेक्ट में आपकी रोल्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज क्या थी, तो वो डिटेल्ड आपका सीवी बनता है। स्टैंडर्ड लेंथ इज इन द मार्केट इज 3 to 12 पेजेस। प्रोजेक्शन, एक तो प्रोफाइलिंग, जब आप प्रोफाइलिंग बनाते हैं तो स्टैक रैंकिंग्स हम देते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल हम रिज्यूम जब बनाएंगे तो आजकल तो बहुत अच्छे फॉर्मेट्स आपको प्ले स्टोर पे भी मिल जाते हैं, बट प्ले स्टोर पे आप ऐसा ना करें कि प्ले स्टोर से आपने एक फॉर्मेट डिजाइन कर लिया, फॉर्मेट डिजाइन डाउनलोड कर लिया और उस पर अपनी सिंपल डिटेल्स फिल कर दी। वहां पे एक फॉर्मेट को चूज करें तो आप यू मस्ट मेक श्योर कि जो फॉर्मेट आपका वो है, या तो वो सेंटरली फोकस्ड, एक आजकल एक बहुत ट्रेंडी फॉर्मेट चल रहा है, दैट यू पुट योर पिक ऑन द सेंटर, देन the tagline has to say about it, the about you, who you are, and then you start with the objective, the first rank which we always give, that is the stacking of your profiling. So the objective of what is the objective of your CV? Objective would always say, आपने देखा होगा कि objective generally जो CVs के हैं, especially in India, the objective, lot of people see any resume you pick up and the objective would say that I want to be the part of the organization where I can learn and grow and blah 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 blah. इंडियन रिज्यूमेज में अगर आप पिक करेंगे मनीष, तो 99.9 लोगों के ऑब्जेक्टिव वो ही होते हैं, कॉपी पेस्ट किए हुए, फॉर्मेट से कॉपी पेस्ट कर लिया, ना तो उन्होंने कभी पढ़ा है और ना ही उनको पता है कि वो ऑब्जेक्टिव वहां पे क्यों आता है। My question, anybody would like to tell me why that objective scenario, objective stack is there in CV? मनीष, आपको पता है हम ऑब्जेक्टिव उसमें क्यों डालते हैं? Anybody from the class? I'm sure we have my young friends here. Anybody would like to participate? Yes, please go on.
सर इसलिए डालते कि हम अपने थोड़ा डिटेल शॉर्ट में बता सके कि हम आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्यों काम करना चाहते हैं।
Yes, kind of, yes, obviously. However, the main objective is missing. Anybody would like to tell me why that objective stack is there? What is the objective? Manish is obviously right, Manish, like you said, that we want to tell in just two-liner that if I'm applying for a job, a particular job in any of the organization, then I would like to just in two-liner, I would like to tell them that what is my objective applying for this particular position. So that objective has to be changed in terms of every job you apply for. For example, let's say if I am applying for a job in academics, as I've got certain responsibilities I need to take over, and I'm applying for an academic job, my objective in my CV or resume would be different if I am taking a responsibility, let's say a kind of marketing job in any of the corporate. Are you getting my point? My point is that objective would tell what you are and how would you be suitably taking those responsibility in just two-liner. That is what your objective is. But what happens, Manish, and that happens with a lot of people around us, that once we write 4 lines, 4 sentences in the objective, and we think that is a kind of evergreen objective, we want to learn and grow and blah, 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 and that would do. These are some of the myths we need to break, actually, because what happens that when profiling and projection are not in a proper manner, the chances are that a lot of resumes get rejected in the initial screening, especially when it comes to the corporate hiring, especially when you are hiring applying in multinational fortunes, or if you are applying somewhere in America, Europe, or the top brand shots in India. So the profiling and the projection has to be maintained. As per the stack, I'll definitely be sending some of the formats which would help you. I would need to have a very detailed discussion with you that what kind of job you would be applying for. So first we make that objective very clear. Objective has to be changed as per the job you are applying for. That becomes your number one preference in your CV. Second, obviously, details about your educational qualification, details about your educational achievements, details about your corporate achievements on number 2 or number 3. That's how we make it. But make sure that when we are actually creating a CV, creating a format of your own, then try not to exceed the length. If you are creating a resume, then when you name it, actually, if you on the top, if you write that it's a resume, that means the person, if it comes to me, and then I would understand that in very short description, you have actually mentioned about your achievements, your goals, the kind of things you've achieved in your life. So that is something which we need to take care of, Manish. However, if you are preparing a CV, then it could go 3 to 4 pages. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Can we go back to the PPT once again?
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Is my screen visible, guys?
Yes, sir, your screen is visible.
Okay. Now we understand the twofold interview is obviously twofold. The employer needs to find out if you are the best candidate for the job. You need to find out if this is a good opportunity for you or not. And how do we find? So the very basic fundamentals today we will talk about, like I said, my young friends, that the time limitation. Interview is something which we can, I myself, I can talk about the whole night and, tell you that what are the do's, what are the don'ts, and then that's what uh, we can always talk about in detail. However, as for the limitation, let's very quickly talk about the basic fundamental of 5 senses for the interviews, and we'll try and go through it very quickly so that I would be able to leave, odd 15-20 minutes. मैं चाहता हूं कि आप जितने क्वेश्चन आप पूछ सकें इस प्रेजेंटेशन के बाद, वो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, क्योंकि जितने क्वेश्चन आप पूछते हैं गाइस, that would clear your doubts, your own doubts. No PPT in the world can clear doubts, better than your own questions coming up. Because मैं आपको बताता हूँ, इंटरव्यू एक ऐसा बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए एक ऐसा नाइटमेयर एक वर्ड है कि इंटरव्यू का नाम सुनते ही उनको घबराहट होने लग जाती है. उनको लगता है कि पता नहीं इंटरव्यू क्या है, क्या उसमें होगा, कैसे उसको हैंडल करेंगे. और इस घबराहट की वजह से 90% रिजेक्शन आप जिनके लोगों के होते हैं, जो इंटरव्यू में रिजेक्ट होते हैं, उसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल ये घबराहट होती है, ये डाउट्स होते हैं, ये मिथ्स होते हैं. जितना आप इंटरव्यू को अपने ऊपर एक डर बना लेते हैं, वो उतना ही ज्यादा चांसेस हैं of rejection. So let's talk about these 5 basic senses to a successful interview, the basic fundamental. And from the basic, we'll try and go step over the notch, where I would love you to participate and ask questions so that we could go in details. Okay, the first sense of the interview, that is sight. Like in the beginning of the talk, guys, we am I audible, guys? So please.
Yes, sir,
sir,
you are
Thank
very
you.
much audible, sir.
In interval, I just need to know so that I'm going right on the track. Sight. The most important part is your appearance. That is what we talked about. It's not only your appearance, guys, it is the appearance of your resume and CV also. So when you are sending a mail, what kind of cover letter you are sending, that has to be appropriately professionally built up. What kind of projection and profiling you're making, that is one, your appearance. Then, you know, your look. When you go for the interview and in front of the interview, you go and stand, people would start making judgment. That is what we did with that question. And I'm sure you learned, we all learned that lesson from that question, that, you know, we make judgments. We make judgment on the basis of your appearances. No matter who you are, no matter, you know, even before talking to you, even before knowing about you, even before, you know, crossing your background, you know, background check, people would start making judgments. So your appearance, your dressing sense, your cladding, what kind of clothes you're wearing, dressing appropriately for your interview would definitely help you creating a better judgment about you, because this is what it is all about, guys. So the take-home formula today is: one, interview. What is interview? Interview is nothing just about creating better judgment in the eyes of interview, you could say, or into the good book of the HR people, creating your better judgment in their opinion. That is what interview is all about. So dressing appropriately for your interview. Clothes should be clean and ironed. That's what we all know, very basic thing. Facial hair should be clean, shaven, trimmed. So should not always take the casual approach, because, you know, what happened in the very first question we picked up, the first guy, nobody picked up the option A in the first hand, you know, just because he had very casual approach. His appearance was very casual, was wearing. Why a lot of people picked up option C, because the guy was properly dressed up, and it was he was actually looking like a professional chauffeur and wheelman. So how you dress up, that becomes your personality speak up, that starts creating your impression. Once a bad impression is built up, it becomes very hard. Guys, try and remember the second take home thing today, which I would like to tell you. एक बार अगर impression आपका खराब होता है इंटरव्यूअर की ओपिनियन में, तो उसको दोबारा से बिल्ड अप करना, उसको दोबारा से, guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अगर एक बार आपका इंप्रेशन खराब होता है, तो उसको दोबारा से रीबिल्ड करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. So try and make sure that, you know, from the moment one, you start your creating that kind of judgment for you, because people would start judging you. That is what interview is all about. So your first appearance is your personality. Speak up how you are dressing up, what kind of dressing sense you should, obviously the formal attire or the semi formal attire, that has to be advisable kind of thing. Hearing, second sense, speaking with a professional tone. Every word, guys, I tell you, every word in this PPT you would find will open a chapter itself. So if I tell you, speak with a professional tone, the very simple question would pop up, and no doubt everybody would like to, even if I have to slip into your shoes, अगर मैं भी आपकी जगह होता तो मैं आपसे ये पूछूंगा कि professional tone क्या होती है, casual tone क्या होती है. So without going into the very linguistic details, I would tell you that professional tone depends on the kind of, you know, your pitch tone which you speak, selecting the rhythm and the non-retroflex sounds into your speech. So especially, you know, people coming from areas where they speak a lot of retroflex languages. अगर बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट जैसे देखिए रिवाड़ी साइड हरियाणा, अगर हरियाणा का बैकग्राउंड है, तो हरियाणा में भी हरियाणवी, पंजाब में पंजाबी, इंडिया में जितनी भी रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस बोली जाती हैं, most of them, 95% of them are retroflex. What happens when over a period of time we keep on speaking a retroflex language? What happens that it actually, corrupts the vocal tract. वो vocal tract को corrupt कर देती है, और जो आपके sounds है ना, your sounds become our sounds become a lot of retroflex sounds. So you might have experienced people speaking, trying and speak English, but it sounds like whether they are speaking Punjabi or Haryanvi tone, या English में South Indian tone आ रही है, तो वो that is a kind of retroflex tone. So any tone which is spoken on a decent pitch without retroflex sounds is called professional tone. So that is very much advisable in the interview. You don't want to be too loud or too quiet, because whatever you are speaking, that has to be properly understood. I guess I got something in the chat. Okay. Oh, how many words? Okay. Do not use slang. Anybody knows what is a slang? Anybody would like to tell me what is a slang? Guys, would you like to tell me what is a slang? Anybody? Koi batayega mujhe? My young friends, come on, participate, guys. Sheetal, yes. Sheetal, go on. Would you like to tell me what is a slang? Sheetal, am I audible to you? I'm sure Sheetal.
Sir,
yeah, Sheetal, please go on.
जब हम बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस को एक साथ मिक्सअप करके बोलते हैं उसे स्लैंग बोलते हैं.
Okay, yes, kind of, yes. Sheetal, thank you for your feed. Anybody else would like to participate? Okay, like Sheetal said, definitely slang. Sheetal, the slang, Sapna, yes, you would like to speak?
सर जैसे हम सोच में बोलते हैं बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस, तनो एक वर्ड होता है, उसका मतलब होता है डू यू नॉट नो. शॉर्ट में बोलते हैं, इनफॉर्मल में यूज करते हैं, फॉर्मल की नहीं होता.
Yes, Sapna, absolutely right.
सर
yes.
फ्लुएंसी लाने के लिए स्पीकिंग को बोला जाता है, जैसे कि गोटा, जैसे कि गोटा वर्ड होता है.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you for your feed. However, let me help you understand what a slang is. Slang is the informal construction of the language. So every language, for example, if you're talking about English has its own list of slangs. Haryanvi has its own list of slangs. Hindi has its own list of slangs. Punjabi, I'm sure Dr. Jaswinder Singh is with us, so he knows that Punjabi has its own list of slangs. Every language has certain informal constructions. For example, if I have to give you an example, let's say, bro. Bro is a kind of informal construction used for a brother. So instead of saying my brother, oh, you're my brother, I would say, you're my bro, man. This is the informal construction of the language, which is used in informal circumstances. Language can be manipulated as per the circumstances, guys. So informal construction and semantics of the language can be used in informal circumstances. Interview, however, is a formal circumstances. So for the formal circumstances, we would always use we would definitely not use slang while speaking with the interviewer, and definitely not swear like we do. That's very much Indian culture. Try not to use fillers. Fillers are words like what happens? Why do we use filler when actually we are not able to properly connect our thoughts. Thought process is a mechanism which actually gives you thoughts, from the back of your mind. So what happens, guys, when we are not able to connect thoughts, what happens is that we start speaking something and then we are not able to connect the thought. What happens that we start making sounds like and these kind of sounds. They are actually called fillers. So using a lot of fillers, I mean, you may use kind of words which definitely would connect, which would work as a connector in your speech, but using lot of fillers in the interview would definitely create a bad impression. So I'm sure you would not like to do that. Okay. Smell, another sense, very fundamental, sense, that is smell. Hygiene is obviously the utmost importance of brushing your teeth. Everybody knows. I don't think I need to tell you all this. But then, one thing which I would, which is the pickup here on this slide, which I would like to tell. A lot of people I have seen, in corporates also coming for the interview, and just they use very high-pitched either colognes or perfumes. So using a kind of perfume or cologne is not very much advisable in the interview. A lot of people do that. A lot of people use deodorants with very high kind of high fragrance, which is not advisable. So even if you are using deodorants, try using deodorants which are very soft in terms of their fragrance, because you never know, you're going for the interview and the interviewer is allergic to some kind of fragrance. So that might just create your impression in kind of manner which I'm sure you would not love to receive. So wearing deodorant instead of perfume can be advisable, but even if you have to use deodorants, try using softer fragrances instead of the harder ones. Touch. Okay. Another sense of interview, guys. L2 and L3, you can definitely greet your interviewer with a firm handshake. That is what we do, especially into the corporate, but not advisable in academics, guys, or the government services. You can definitely do if you're not going into academics, or L2 and L3 are level 2 and level 3. So when in the corporate, when you begin your career, when you start your career, you are actually on level 1. You start from level 1. After spending 4 years in a particular domain, you become entitled for level 2 and level 3 hiring as per the different policies of different organizations working around India, working in India and the around in countries like, organizations working in Europe or South Africa or, Australia. So level 2 and level 3, you can definitely greet your interviewer with a handshake, but not advisable for level 1. For example, if you are a fresher and going for the interview, you can definitely, if you are that confident, you can definitely greet your interviewer with the handshake, but it's not advisable for level 1. If you have sweaty hands, be sure discreetly wipe them before shaking hands if you are shaking hands. So that's how you can keep sure that the hygiene is properly maintained. It is not appropriate to touch or hug your interview, so that is a kind of thing which we all know. But level 1, handshake, not advisable, especially not advisable when you're going for academic jobs or jobs into the paramilitary forces or, the kind of defense forces. But then, definitely level 2 and level 3 into the corporate world interviewer, you can definitely do the handshake with the interviewer. But level 1, not advisable for the freshers. Taste, another sense. Do not leave a bad taste in your potential employer's mouth. This idiom itself, this has become an idiom that if you're leaving a bad taste in the employer's mouth, that means you are creating a very bad judgment in his mind. And then, the chances are that you are fired already, you're out of the flow and you're gone. So creating a kind of impression with your all appearance today. We were talking about, majorly we were talking about the appearance, how you appear in the interview with all these five senses would actually help you create a better judgment in the mind. So once a positive judgment is created, then it starts with the second phase of the interview, when you start communicating. So once your first impression is built up in the mind, then you start communicating, and that's how it goes. A few basic things: preparing research, doing research about the organization. For example, let's say if you are, applying in any of the organization around, and then you know that is a kind of profile. You prepare your CV, guys. It is very important. Once again, जैसा हम हमेशा करते हैं कि एक सीवी हमने बनाया, उसकी 15 कॉपियां बना ली। हमेशा मैंने देखा है स्टूडेंट्स क्या करते हैं, व्हाट माय यंग फ्रेंड्स डू, दैट एक सीवी बनाया और उसकी फोटोकॉपी करवाते रहते हैं। वो सारी जिंदगी बस उसमें अपडेट कर दिया और उसकी फोटोकॉपी करवाते रहो। ऐसा कभी भी ना करें। हर जॉब के लिए एक नया सीवी बनाना जरूरी होता है, उसका प्रोजेक्शन जरूरी होता है, उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव डिफाइन करना होता है, उसकी स्टैकिंग एंड प्रोफाइलिंग बनाना जरूरी होता है। क्योंकि यस गीतांजलि, आई एम श्योर यू हैव अ क्वेश्चन हियर। Please go on with your question, Gitanjali.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Gitanjali. Please go on, ask your
Sir,
question.
I want to ask about the objective. मतलब you were telling कि objective हमें mention करना होता है अगर CV में, तो
yes.
we have to mention, मतलब आपने बोला कि अलग-अलग अगर किसी भी कंपनी में तुम लोग अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो उसके लिए अलग-अलग ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है।
Yes, objective.
So I want to ask कि a particular career objective we have to mention, or the objective मतलब maybe differ।
देखिए, अगर आप सिंपल वर्ड यूज कर रहे हैं ऑब्जेक्टिव, तो ऑब्जेक्टिव का मतलब वहां पे है आपके सीवी का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है। योर ऑब्जेक्टिव इज योर 2-liner introduction. So recently a new trend has come into the market that your objective comes right below. आपकी पिक्चर होती है formal pic in the center, और उसके नीचे 2-liner tagline which we call, that is called tagline, that becomes your objective. Those 2 sentences tell the interviewer whole about you, who you are, what you are capable of, what you've done. That's it, in 2 sentences. That is the objective of your CV. Telling that objective has to correlate with the JD, job description. But if you are mentioning somewhere in your CV, and if you are preparing a CV and you are mentioning that what is your career objective, so career objective, definitely you can mention that what you want to do in your career. But my advice, take this expert advice, Gitanjali, that it is no use of mentioning your career objective. For example, I would like to give you an example. मैं आपको एक example, छोटा सा example देता हूँ. For example, if I am going for a job, right? This is my first job. मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ जितने स्टूडेंट्स हैं, ज्यादातर फ्रेशर्स होंगे अगर आप यूनिवर्सिटी में हैं अभी तक, if you are still the part of the campus. तो आपकी फर्स्ट जॉब हमेशा आपकी ड्रीम जॉब नहीं होती है. Maybe you want to start somewhere and then you have to develop, और आपका career objective है Apple में जाके जॉब करना, ग्रीन वैली में. So you cannot really mention the whole career objective in a manner which may, bring, अगर आपका career objective development में जाने का, operation में जाने का, लेकिन आप पहला interview आप let's say analytics में दे रहे हैं, तो आपका वो ऑपरेशन का करियर ऑब्जेक्टिव आप उस सीवी में मेंशन करें. आई वुड नॉट एडवाइज इट. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ मेंशनिंग योर होल करियर ऑब्जेक्टिव, लेट इट बी सिंपल ऑब्जेक्टिव, एंड दैट ऑब्जेक्टिव हैज टू talk about in 2 or 3 sentences that who you are and how you are capable for this job. That has to be the objective.
Okay,
Understood,
sir.
Gitanjali?
Yes, sir.
क्योंकि वो ऑब्जेक्टिव पढ़ते ही मुझे समझ में, अगर इफ आई एम टेकिंग द इंटरव्यू, तो वो ऑब्जेक्टिव मुझे पढ़ते ही समझ में आना चाहिए कि आपने उस जेडी पे आप कैसे लाई करते हैं, वो जो जेडी है कंपनी का, उस जेडी पे, उस पर्टिकुलर जेडी पे आप कैसे कैपेबल हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप डेवलपमेंट में हैं, लेट्स से लारावेल डेवलपमेंट में, which course you are from, Gitanjali? Gitanjali, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Which course you are from?
Sir, I'm from environment science.
Environment science. For example, let's say अगर आप academic job के लिए apply कर रहे हैं, तो आपका objective should mention that how a suitable teacher you are, how suitable academician you are, so that that two-liner objective tells a lot about you. So instead of mentioning the whole career objective would not make any sense. Let it be simple objective of your CV. Do the licensing of your projection and profiling. We'll definitely talk about it. Dr. Singh, Dr. Tanwar, please let me know when I cross the time limit, because sometimes it happens that getting involved so much with the interaction, it doesn't make any sense. I don't want to.
Smriti ma'am.
Wait.
Ji sir, I'm
Okay.
here.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
1
Dr.
hour
Tanwar.
is allocated to every expert. So if you can open the session for the question of the students,
Oh
if
yes,
they have any.
I'll definitely do that. Let me just go through these slides very quickly. I'll take another 5 minutes and I'll try to close it down. Guys, my young friends, come on. Let me just run through the slides very quickly. So preparing for the interview, 5 basic things I've mentioned here, though definitely every point here would lead to open a new chapter. Research about the organization. It is very important when you are actually going for the interview, try and do the research about the organization, and not only the organization, about the JD, the complete job description you should have handy, so that you have better chances, because that would grow your confidence in the interview at the time of when you would be actually sitting in the interview. So that would help you there. Visit the site of the organization if you can do that. Practice for interviews. Simple things. The only thing which I wanted to pick up was R&D. You do the research. Preparing your interview questions, you can mentally prepare yourself for what kind of questions could be asked, and you could practice with your friends. Types of job interviews, one-to-one behavioral based interviews, second interviews, group interviews, telephonic panel, and virtual. I wanted to add virtual also. Some of the very common questions which you could always be prepared for in all kinds of interviews, about like briefing about yourself, briefing about your CV. See, guys, there is a minute difference about briefing about yourself and briefing about your CV. So when you are asked to brief me about yourself, that has a different projection of answer, and briefing about your CV or resume, that has a different projection. We'll definitely love to talk about that. So some of the questions right on your screen. Okay, this is very important, guys, very important, especially for a fresher. Being a fresher, these are the most fumble points. Weakness, situations, and negotiation. These three parameters are most fumbling parameters for the freshers. Let's say if you are a fresher, you would tend to fumble at these 3 points. It's commonly found in freshers, with a kind of little low side. I'm not saying that all people it's applicable on all, but then, it's for the majority. A lot of people fumble while talking about the weakness. If you are asked in the interview that, what is your weakness and how you take care of your weaknesses. Or if you are given a particular situation, which happens in the kind of behavioral interviews, when you are given a particular situation which is more related to the human behavior, which is, more related to your personality phenomena. So, and then negotiation for the salary. tools, 80% that is your projects related, work related, or the whatever you've earned in the education. 10% attributes of your CV, and then 10% personal. That's how it goes. Questions, definitely. That's me, Kamil Sharma. If you, even if not today, you have questions, you could always follow me on. I'm there on Insta, FB, and you could always find me there. That's my number. If you have questions, you can shoot me on my WhatsApp. I would love to revert back. And now I would definitely love to have questions, guys. Sorry, I wanted to talk in detail, but then limitation of time. So, guys, I would request you if you could open up and, please bombard
Mr. Kamal, thanks a lot. It was a great session, a great interactive session indeed. And I suppose it should have been a 2 hours session, but I think it was just a sample in front of students. We would like to have more interactive sessions like these. And actually the next speaker is already in front, is with us. So would like to thank you again. And I would request and would like this association to continue ahead. It is just the first beginning. It is just beginning of the interaction. We hope that your experience would be shared again and again with the students. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Mr. Kamal.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bajaj. Thank you, Dr. Tanwar, and thank you, the whole team of IGU for such events, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you, guys. Please pop up your question. I wanted to discuss more, a kind of assignment which I wanted to give you, the practical assignment, which I would coordinate with Dr. Tanwar. I would send a kind of PDF file, a kind of questionnaire which would help you, judge your personality. It would be a kind of self-assessment. So we'll talk about it. We'll coordinate with Dr. Tanwar. I don't want the other speaker to wait for longer. It was lovely meeting you all, and would definitely look forward for the association in future as well. And if you guys have questions, you could always shoot me on my WhatsApp, and I would love to revert back. It was lovely meeting you all. Thank you. Have a lovely night. Enjoy the coming session. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dr. Bajaj, can we start the second session?
Yes. Yes, please do. Professor Chauhan is associated with us since last 15 minutes. So please carry on.
Just 1 second.
Good evening, Professor Chauhan.
Very good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thanks for being associated with us, and thanks for accepting. Dr. Smithy, please carry on.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Very good evening, sir, and my dear colleagues and dear students. So welcome to the second session of the third day. And the second speaker, eminent speaker, is Dr. Gajinder Chauhan. And I would like to give a profile of Dr. Chauhan. He is an associate professor in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, BITS Pilani, where he teaches courses on professional communication, advertising, and media writing. His contribution to the literature include 7 books from the leading publishers like Wiley, Rawat, and many others. He has published papers in a wide range of scholarly refereed journals and presented his work in international research gatherings. Being a sport enthusiastic, he loves playing his tennis every morning. Also, he has delivered his sessions to the All India Radio Talk. He regularly invited to conduct MDPs and workshop on communication and media issues for top corporates and premier academic institutions in the country. So we are pleased to have you, and the rest of the 60 minutes is to you, and we wish all of us are having a very positive and enthusiastic session. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Samadi, for your beautiful and kind words. Okay. I'm really humbled. And before I begin with my talk, okay, let me ensure that you all are fine, especially the students. And I believe that they are doing well. For almost 1.5 years, okay, we are in the confines of the home due to the pandemic. And I understand it's a very tough time for the teachers, for the students, and for everyone, not only in the university, the worldwide. Okay, we have a very distressing phenomenon. So I believe that everyone is comfortable, they are doing well. And with this intent, okay, I think that's the nature of life, that life never stops. With all the chaos and the confusion around us, okay, the life goes on, the learning never stops. And with this intent, I think the IGU and especially the Department of Management, they come out with such a beautiful idea, to engage the student with the scholars and to prepare them for the future, for the market, for the industry and the society. I really appreciate and congratulate all the conveners, coordinators, the university authorities, for providing this platform for the young students, and especially inviting us to be the part of the celebration. So it's indeed a great job that you're doing during this distressing time. The universities are closed. The complete world is, suffering the lockdown, but still the life goes on. So that's kind of a silver line I see here. And with this intent, I would like to begin here. Haryana, I think the university falls in Haryana. Most of my students. Am I clear to you? I could see some kind of interruptions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir, and we are removing the disruptions. Sorry for that.
Thanks so much. Okay, maybe from my side, if I
we are working
camera, that would be fine. Okay, so that there would be much clarity for the rest of the sessions. So I just want to ensure and especially communicate to the students those are sitting in the audience that they come from a wonderful place and the state like Haryana, and Haryana is known for its extraordinary agricultural productions. They are the bread earners for the country, and it is also a land of heroes, okay, the warriors, the soldiers, the Olympians, and especially the shooters and the wrestlers. And I'm very sure some of the would-be leaders, some of the would-be heroes would be sitting in this audience, in this gathering, okay? So I'm really lucky to be here at this moment and hope to have a very interactive and engaging session for another one year. Okay. So give me a couple of moments and I will share my presentations and then we can start talking about it. If I'm somewhere not audible, kindly let me know so that I can realign myself. I think that I'm clear so far to you all.
Yes, sir, you're quite audible and we will let you know.
Thanks for your confirmation. Just give me 1 minute. I will share my screen. Dr. Tanwar, it would be great if you can confirm that you can see my screen. Let me share it first.
It's not visible yet, sir.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir. It's visible. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, so friends, especially the students, I would like to tell you that I'm going to talk about writing resumes. It's a very important job communications. And I'm not going to talk about, the theoretical aspect. I will be talking about the practical considerations, which are very, very important to get a job. So we all aspire, as a young people, we get admitted in the universities. Okay, we try to earn our degrees, and then we dream for a great job. Okay. And when we all aspire for the jobs, okay, we need to have certain skills with us. And resume, especially when you talk about the resumes and the CVs, okay, these are the words, just two common words I will be coming to it a little later, how they are different or how they are interchangeable. They play a very important role in providing us an opportunity to be in the job, to be in the industry, to be with the corporates. So when I begin, I will be talking about certain dilemmas that usually are there in the minds of the young students. There are certain myths which are prevailing when we work on designing the resumes. I will try to dispel those doubts and I will try to connect the practical aspects where how greatly we can reflect our personalities. How can we do the SWOT analysis? I think most of you are from the management department. That's my understanding, and that your teacher might have taught you about the SWOT analysis, a very popular concept in management, okay, where we try to assess ourselves, the organizations, okay, the NGOs, or any other, things on the basis of this model, where we try to know what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what kind of opportunities that we can explore, and what kind of threats, okay, that we can come across into life. And keeping in mind all these 4 parameters, we prepare, we try to align ourselves in the life. So how better we know ourselves and how greatly we can reflect when we write a resume. And when we write resumes, the people, the moment they read, okay, they don't read more than 7 seconds. It was a global survey of a top recruitment agencies, and they said that a resume that gets chance to be called for interview, they don't scan for more than 7 seconds. So what all can we put in the 7 seconds? Okay, so that what all can we put in our resume so that it would take only 7 seconds to get us selected, at least for an interview, at least for a call, at least for an interactions with our prospective company. So with this thing in mind, let me move to my presentations. I have some images, I have some ideas, and I have some issues, okay, that I would like to deliberate with you. And it will be great if you can come out with your questions, with your observations, with your doubts. I'll be happy to talk over those issues. Let me go for the full screen, I hope. Yeah. So I said that be sure. Yeah.
Professor Chauhan, it will be a pleasure. It's pleasure attending the session. But is it possible if you use both the languages, bilingual, both Hindi and English and Hindi, as the audience?
Okay.
The audience in mind.
Yeah, well, I'm not very much accustomed, but I will try. I will try, man.
Right. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
I will see that. Yeah. Thanks that you pointed out at the very beginning. I'm just about to share my ideas. So friends, जब भी कभी हम लोग जॉब्स के लिए ट्राई करते हैं, हम लोग अपनी पर्सनैलिटीज को रेज्यूमे के थ्रू रिफ्लेक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. और जो पर्सनैलिटी दैट वी रिफ्लेक्ट इन द रेज्यूमे, I say that it has to be real. Do not try to be very fanciful. Do not try to be what you are not. We can all earn a job or a salary or a reputations by being what we are. लाइफ में या जॉब में हमें वही चीज मिलती है जिसको हम डिजर्व करते हैं. So always keep in mind, it's a very important, I think it's the bottom line that I share here, that never bluff, never lie when you design your resume. When you write, जब कभी हम resume बनाते हैं, हम एक homework करते हैं ना, we make a draft, okay, एक rough work होता है ना, तो उसमें से we prepare a rough work. There we try to list down our own characteristics. What am I? What all do I possess? What are my qualities? What all I have achieved in my life? What kind of competitions where I participated, from where I gained my degrees? कहाँ मैंने पढ़ाई की, किस तरह की अचीवमेंट हासिल की, कितने कंपटीशन में पार्टिसिपेट किया, कितने मैंने अवार्ड्स जीते, किस तरह का एक्सपीरियंस है, कितने एनजीओ में मैंने काम किया. But all these pieces of information are very random. They are at 6 and 7. Okay, it's time to organize it. It's time to give them the real sense. कई बार क्या होता है कि हमारे पास सब कुछ होता है, but we fail to project, we fail to reflect, we fail to showcase. I think that is the point that I'm going to talk throughout in my presentations. I'm not talking about the theoretical aspect. I will not talk how to structure it. I'm not talking about what kind of a format we should use. There are many types of you know, resumes are available, and sometimes the companies that came to the campus for the campus placement, they come out with their own design, okay, and they distribute among the students. I remember in Bitspalani, you know, very often the companies, you know, Microsoft, Google, and other, you know, Fortune 100 companies, they come to the campus and they come with their own design. So I think we cannot be very specific. Asani gave us, this is the standard format, we have to follow it. Before we do something, before we plan our resume, let's know yourself and know that you know yourself very well. You know your real self. Okay, let's me move forward. So far I'm fine, ma'am. Is it okay? I'm switching my gear. Okay, for my
Yes,
audience.
sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, that's okay. That's very important. Otherwise, if my audience do not get it, मुझे मतलब उसका उस class concentration में कोई मतलब नहीं. So कोशिश करता हूँ मैं कि they should receive me well. So you can see here, it's a humorous picture, but it carries a very strong point here. Okay, and the point is that it's my resume. The spell checker accidentally changed Mid-State Junior College to Harvard. You know what is the issue here? That's a kind of a cartoon. आपको लग रहा है cartoon script है और इसमें एक statement है नीचे, and there is a conversation between two. There is a applicant and there is a employer. Okay. And the employer is telling his argument कि गलती से spell checker ने मेरी जो college है उसका नाम Harvard कर दिया. Do you think is it possible the spell checker can make such a silly mistakes? I think machine can't make such a mistakes. Okay. So the moot point, जो सबसे important महत्व की बात ये है कि चाहे अपने कॉलेज का डिस्क्रिप्शन कर रहे हैं, चाहे हम अपनी अचीवमेंट्स के बारे में कर रहे हैं, ओके, बी क्लियर, बी रियल, बी श्योर कि आप वही इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं जो आपके पास है. You will be outrightly rejected, gentlemen, the moment, gentleman and the gentlewoman as well. So the moment, you know, people will go through your resume and there will be the copies will be distributed among all the members in the panel, the interview panels. Okay, and they will ask you the questions. Oh, you from this college? And if you're really from that college, then it matters. Yes, you do right. If you're coming from a particular university, yes, do right. किस तरह का आपका CGA, क्या आपका परसेंटेज है, आपने किस तरह के स्पेशल कोर्सेज किए, किस तरह के मेजर्स किए, किस तरह के माइनर्स किए. Be factual, be truthful, be real. Okay, that's what the point I want to make here. Another script, and again a humorous one. An ability to smell fair is a quality I have never seen listed on a resume before. Are you practical about yourself? आप जानते हैं आप क्या है? Do you think this is a talent that I can smell a fear? People, nobody wants that you smell a fear. Okay, no company wants, okay, that you know how to lose the niche. So you want to write something very strange, okay, something very offbeat, but you should know that it should have some real life connections. Okay. So I very often say, I teach a resume and I say that we should write some strange facts, especially when you talk about the interest. Interest हमारे बहुत varied हो सकते हैं, बहुत different हो सकते हैं. Okay, you might be a marketing guy, okay, but आपका शौक है कि आप scuba diving करते हैं. I think that's you put in your interest. Okay, but this kind of a passion, this kind of an interest, I think you need to be a little scary. You need to be a little more careful. Coming to the another aspect that very often we come across in the resume. जब भी हम resume पढ़ते हैं, जब भी हम लोग students को train करते हैं, इस तरह के issues बहुत आते हैं. Okay, और कई बार students बहुत over ambitious हो जाते हैं, बहुत opportunist हो जाते हैं. It's good to have ambitions. Okay, life में ambitions बहुत जरूरी है, but we should be grounded as well. That's more important. Okay, so see how the rejection comes. They do not want to reject you, but this is the rejection. The manager is very, very clear. The HR manager made his statement very clear. Thanks for coming in. We will get back to you as soon as we lower our expectations. I think you have much, much higher expectations. You have higher, qualifications, experiences, accomplishment that probably we cannot accommodate here. You are bigger than the organizations. So do take care, okay, what you are putting it. Okay. And I will take you to that particular exercise. इसे कैसे हम चीज़ों को, कैसे वो हमारा जो टैलेंट है, जो हमारी क्वालिफिकेशन है, जो हमारी अचीवमेंट्स है, जो हमने वॉलंटियरिंग वर्क्स किया, हमने एनजीओ में काम किया, हमने कॉलेज की डिफरेंट कमेटीज में काम किया, कैसे हम उसको कन्वर्ट करें हमने ब्राउनी पॉइंट्स में. इससे कैसे हम अपने HR मैनेजर को, रिक्रूटिंग मैनेजर्स को, प्लेसमेंट कंपनीज को, प्लेसमेंट मैनेजर्स को कैसे इम्प्रेस करें, दैट्स आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर ओके इन द रेस्ट ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशंस, बट not at the cost of being artificial, not at the cost of being, untruthful. See, that this is the beautiful one. It's my personal favorite. Any other people skills beside 400 Facebook friends? The young people, they are on the social media. They are on the Twitter, they are on Facebook. But what is your real worth? आपकी जिंदगी में आपकी कितनी औकात है, आपके कितने फ्रेंड्स हैं, कितने फ्रेंड्स जो एक फोन कॉल पे आपके दरवाजे पे खड़े हो जाएं, आपके रूम पे आ जाएं आपके लिए. You have 400 phones, but in real life nobody knows you. You hesitate to knock the next door. You do not know your neighbor. You do not know your own relatives. You do not know people who are living in your own surroundings. Okay, so be a social man in the real life. Okay, आपकी पीपल स्किल वो नहीं कि आप इतने फेसबुक फ्रेंड्स बना लेते हैं. रियल लाइफ में आपकी क्या लीडरशिप क्वालिटी, हाउ यू कैन मोबिलाइज द पीपल, ओके, हाउ यू कैन गो फॉर ए डोनेशन कैंपेन, हाउ यू कैन गो फॉर कंडक्ट द वैक्सीनेशन कैंप, ओके, एंड मोबिलाइज द एंटायर विलेज एंड कम फॉरवर्ड एंड गेट देम वैक्सीनेटेड. दैट्स योर पावर, दैट्स योर पीपल स्किल, दैट्स योर लीडरशिप. So please differentiate, okay, what is the real one and what is the real world. Coming to the moot point, the most important things. Okay, the resume need to know that. Okay, and what we need to know that there are books, there are teachers, and there is the ultimate guru, that is the internet. Okay, and that will teach you how to write resumes, how resumes are different from the CVs. Okay, what kind of a format that we can use, how should we structure our informations within types of resumes, which one is the most appropriate. ये सारी informations आपको इंटरनेट के थ्रू, अपने टीचर्स के थ्रू, बुक्स के थ्रू आपको मिल सकती है. Probably I am adding one more thing here. Okay, I'm not, as I said, that my teaching is all about the practical aspect. So I will tell you that. Okay, let's convert. Okay, what is your worth? आपकी कितनी वर्थ है, आपकी कितनी वैल्यूज है, आपके पास एक्चुअली क्या है जो आप शोकेस करना चाहते हैं और कैसे शोकेस करना है उसको. That's my main idea for the rest of the presentation, and I'm coming to that point. Okay, very often there's the discussions in academic world and even in the corporate world, okay, where people talk about a resume versus CV. Resume क्या होता है, CV क्या होता है. Resume mostly, especially if you talk about, the American culture and American corporate routes, okay, they prefer CV. If you talk about the European world and the Asian world, they believe in resume. CV is a little bit longer. Okay, it has more detailed information. So the resume is for the young people like you who are coming from the colleges, fresh graduates, okay, with the varied experiences, working with different skills, okay, that can use it, and then we can further classify them. Okay, so in some countries they are interchangeably used. For some countries, especially in the US, okay, there's a complete demarcation between resume and the CV, and CV is more common in the academic world, in the academia, especially in the US. Coming to the industry and corporates, I think they prefer to have a resume, and there is no one fixed format. कोई एक तरीका नहीं होता. मैं 10 मिनट पहले लास्ट सेशन को ज्वाइन किया, and I think there is another expert who was talking about interviews, and somewhere he touched upon the resume aspect as well. So I just want to repeat that you should know, okay, for which company you are applying. चाहे वो campus interview है या companies are coming to your campus. The great companies, they have their own designs and they share with you. There are many recruitment websites that, Indeed.com, Naukri.com, these are the popular in India and elsewhere. They have, various formats, so that you can learn it. For a young learners like you, those who are freshly graduated from the universities and the management schools, I prefer that you can go for the hybrid one. That's a combination. That's वो दोनों बेस्ट चीजों को, क्रोनोलॉजिकल जो कि एक ऑर्डर में होता है, जिसमें एक टाइमलाइन होती है, और फंक्शनल दैट्स ऑल अबाउट वैल्यूज, द स्किल्स, द एक्सपीरियंसेस हुए, उसको आप दोनों के बेस्ट पार्ट को कंबाइन करके हाइब्रिड रेज्यूमे में आप यूज कर सकते हैं. आई एम नॉट talking much on it because we have many information on this aspects. Coming to the area, okay, where I want you to translate your actual strength. So I'm sorry that I'm not here to interact with the individuals. I'm not able to ask the questions. Probably it could have been a good exercise otherwise. But suppose if I ask you, what all you want to share on your resume when you are writing your resume, what is the first thing that you do? ऐसी कौन सी चीज जो आप पहले करते हैं, किस तरह से आप अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करते हैं, और हाउ बेटर यू नो योरसेल्फ, क्या आपको अपने बारे में पूरी तरह से पता है, हाउ एकेडमिकली यू आर स्ट्रांग, एकेडमिक्स में आपका कितना अच्छा है, क्या आपका पैशन है लाइफ में, किस तरह का स्किल सेट है लाइफ में, आपने कुछ कौन से नए स्किल्स आपने एक्वायर किए, कौन से नए नए कोर्सेज आपने अपार्ट फ्रॉम द यूनिवर्सिटी, अपार्ट फ्रॉम द मैनेजमेंट एमबीए प्रोग्राम, you went to Coursera, you went to Udemy, online courses from the best universities. Okay, from the Ivy university, they're available freely, and with some money, which paisa dene pe, even they provide you the certification also, the grades also, and that matters a lot. कि हम उन experiences को, इन qualifications को, okay, हमारे resumes में add करते हैं. Okay, and how do we do that? Okay, so let me move to the very first point, okay, when how to convert, how to reflect our personalities, okay, into a powerful resume. A resume that may probably give you a guarantee to be called for an interview, to be before the panel. I hope I'm going well and I'm audible and I'm clear. Ma'am, that's fine. Yeah. Am I coming to you quite clearly? I believe that. Yeah. Fine, let me continue. I think my students, those are here, they know it well that LinkedIn is a community, is a network of professionals, okay, and it operates globally, and every year they come out with the skill sets. What are the skill sets which are very important for the young professionals? Okay, how this industry is moving forward, how the new business plans are coming up, okay, how the startups are evolving in the country and elsewhere, and we are the country in the world, okay, with a maximum, with the highest opening on startup in the world. So जहाँ पे इस तरह का talent है, जहाँ पे इस तरह की opportunities है, we should also able to connect with the industry. We should not work in the isolation. हमें यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या चल रहा है, यूनिवर्सिटी में किस तरह का नॉलेज मिल रहा है, that's good, that's very important, वो बहुत फंडामेंटल है. बट यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ में we need to connect with the industry, with the corporate का रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, क्या जो एजुकेशन दैट मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में प्राप्त कर रहा हूँ उसका उस कनेक्शन है क्या मुझे वो स्किल्स मिल रही है. जब लिंक्डइन ने अपने लास्ट सर्वे में, रिसेंटली इट वाज पब्लिश, ओके, इसमें अपनी टॉप 5 सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में बताया कि यू शुड बी क्रिएटिव, you should have the power of persuasion, how beautifully, how effectively you present your ideas and make people convince. किस तरह का आपका power of arguments है, किस तरह से आप लोगों को convince करते हैं, किस तरह से आप टीम में काम करते हैं, how great you are a team player, collaborations. If you see the industry, if there is a new dynamics that is taking place. If you are a loner, if you are an individualist, आपको लगता है मैं बहुत super ambitious हूँ, मैं अकेला हूँ जो सब कुछ कर सकता हूँ, I think you are a failure. You have a wrong notions about your leadership. You are a great leader if you build a team. You are an extraordinary achiever. आप बहुत बड़े achiever हैं अगर आप लोगों को अपने साथ collaborate करवाते हैं, उनके साथ काम करते हैं, and then you deliver the results. I think these are the soft skills which are very, very adaptations. Okay, how do you move, okay, from one domain to the another? Industry is very volatile. The business are fast changing. और समय के हिसाब से, policies के हिसाब से, governance के हिसाब से, new changes के हिसाब से, acquisitions, mergers, इतनी चीजें rapidly होती है organizations में, corporate में, उसमें आपकी adaptability क्या है? How do we adapt? आप किस तरह से कितने flexible है, आपकी fitness क्या है, or emotional intelligence? That's, I think that's the beauty of all soft skills. Okay, how emotionally you are strong. Yeah, intelligence is good. That's intelligence is all about your logical power. Emotional intelligence is something more. How you deal with the people. How do you foresee the problem? Problem आने के पहले आप समझ लेते हैं problem क्या आने वाली है. आप client के मिलने के पहले आप preparation कर लेते हैं. Oh, he is from the Japan. Oh, he is from the French team. How can I work, with the Japanese language, Japanese culture? कैसे उन etiquettes को मैं अपनी meetings में incorporate करूँ, अपने presentation में incorporate करूँ? That is emotional intelligence. That is also adaptability. तो ये सब चीजों को हमें देखना है. And very often, you know, this LinkedIn is just an example. I'm sharing it because it's a professional networks, okay, that is working, you know, globally, and very often they share this kind of information. So you should be updated. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि भी ट्रेंड्स क्या चल रहा है. और आज भी अगर हम बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ आई कैन वर्क विद MS ऑफिस, आप अपनी स्किल्स में लिख रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि यू हैव टू थिंक ट्वाइस कि आर यू रियली रेडी फॉर टुडेस मार्केट. आपकी हार्ड स्किल्स, आपकी टेक्निकल स्किल्स, आपकी मैनेजरियल स्किल्स आज के मार्केट के हिसाब से रिलेवेंट है या नहीं है. ओके, सो योर टीचर्स, योर प्रोफेसर्स, okay, your degree, your program, your university definitely would prepare you. They will give you the exposure. At the same time, try to know the outside world. Try to make a connect between your academia and the industry. And these are the top 10 skills. I don't think कि जो management graduate है उन सब के लिए applicable होगी. No, it's not necessary. It's not mean for a particular industry. It's a general. Okay, in general, these are the top 10 most sought after skills in today's time in the industry. Industry में आज इन 10 skills की बहुत जरूरत है. I'm not talking about a particular industry. It's not about a software industry or a IT industry. It's not about the finance industry. It's not about FMCG. Okay, in general. So when people talk about the blockchain, what is blockchain? Yeah, you're a management graduate, okay, with a little bit of extra IT background. You are B and an MBA. I hope you should know these terms. What is the cloud computing? What is the analytical reasoning? Say scientific computing, video production side, people are making huge money. Okay, I'm very sure my students are familiar with the word blocks and blocks. Okay, the video blocks. Okay, and they sell their expertise, they sell their knowledge. They not only earn the name but also the great money. So if you have something very genuinely in you, please try to know it. So this is what a point that I want to make it here. Please know what is going on in the outside world, in the real world, in the industry, in the corporate. Finally, you're going to work there. जो skills, जो knowledge, जो आपने यूनिवर्सिटी में प्राप्त किया, उसको you are going to apply, and you are going to apply that. But आपको लग रहा है आपका knowledge redundant तो नहीं है, आपका knowledge outdated तो नहीं है, आप उन skills को प्राप्त कर रहे हैं जो कि जरूरत नहीं है बाहर. So let's have a proper connections, okay, between what you learn and what you are going to earn. Okay, so with learning comes earning. Okay, so what we learn definitely will decide how we will learn. Coming to the translating the personality into a resume is, how can I reflect my personalities on paper? Or the world believes in number, especially numbers are easily seen, the statistics, okay, and we all have some numbers, okay, and we can play the number games very well, okay, and how can we do that? And it would really help you in getting people's attention, okay. I always say when I say that you should try to capture people's attention, I don't mean that you should be fanciful. I mean you should be real. At the same time, you can have people's attentions. वो कैसे हो सकता है? Probably I will tell you with examples here. लाइफ में हमारी सबकी अचीवमेंट्स होती है, उस अचीवमेंट्स के कुछ नंबर होते हैं, कहीं हम गोल्ड मेडल हैं या सिल्वर मेडल है या ब्रॉन्ज मेडल है, या हमने बहुत किसी छोटी कैपेसिटी में कहीं किसी जगह काम किया, ओके, एंड उस अचीवमेंट्स को हमें वर्ड्स में नहीं, हमें नंबर में उसको एग्जाम्प्लीफाई करना है, उसको क्वांटिफाई करना है, उसको शोकेसिंग करना है, और कैसे करना चाहिए. And this is an important, even the HBS, the Harvard Business School, the Stanford, okay, very often they teach their graduates, okay, that let's quantify your efforts, put them into numbers, convert them into numbers, show the statistics. But at the same time, do careful, इस चीज को ध्यान रखना, जब भी रिज्यूमे बनाएं उसमें tables, images, graphics की जरूरत नहीं, unless it's a very, very important for a particular positions, unless it's asked by the employer, do not do that. Okay, so let's see हम कैसे इस चीज को achieve करते हैं, कैसे हम convert करते हैं हमारी achievements को with the help of numbers. Numbers are very, very important. We can significantly watch. Okay, ये statement बहुत weak है. अगर हम लिखते हैं I manage a budget to plan large scale events for a student. आप जनरल सेक्रेटरी है मैनेजमेंट एसोसिएशंस की, आप इंदिरा गांधी यूनिवर्सिटी मीरपुर में, आप उसके जनरल सेक्रेटरी हैं, आप उसके प्रेसिडेंट है, और आप अपने रेज्यूमे में इस तरह का स्टेटमेंट लिख रहे हैं. I think that is not proper. Then how to rewrite, how to quantify? क्या हम quantify कर सकते हैं? Can we make it more forceful? Can we make it more attractive? At the same time meaningful? वो कैसे possible है? Let's see that. Okay, I think I will provide you a stronger version. I manage 7 lakhs Indian rupees budget to plan 10 national quizzes and competitions. I am sorry for the typo. I think competition should be competition at college week for 3,500 students. आप देखिए, आपका first sentence देखिए और आपका second sentence देखिए, and the meaning is same. I mean, the idea is same, but the representation is completely different. आपने जो चीज करी है परंतु आप उसको रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे. आपने बजट को मैनेज किया और आपने बहुत लार्ज स्केल इवेंट्स करी, बट लार्ज स्केल इवेंट्स इज वेरी एब्स्ट्रैक्ट. उसका मीनिंग ही नहीं आ रहा है. वो कौन सी इवेंट है? अरे भाई, आपने टेल नेशनल क्विज़ेस किए, आपने कॉम्पिटिशंस किए, आपने कहाँ किए? आपने कॉलेज वीक में किए. आपने किन के लिए किया? आपने स्टूडेंट्स के लिए नहीं किया, आपने 3,500 स्टूडेंट्स के लिए किया. यू आर ए ग्रेट मैनेजर, यू आर ए क्राउड पुलर, एंड दैट टू यू आर ए फाइनेंस मैनेजर एज वेल. 7 lakhs का बजट को आपने हैंडल किया. So when you've done so many things, dear boys and girls, please, it must be reflected in your resume. Okay. So quantifying is very, very important. But again, I'm saying here with a caution that do not brag. Okay, no bragging. बहुत simple statement को मैंने powerful बनाने की कोशिश करी है. Okay, I think you all have small achievements, small things, small details. Okay, but you can make them, you can represent them very meaningfully. Do take care of these things. Another statement, I think again I say that it's a very poor one. Maybe as a professor, okay, if I write in my resume, अगर मैं लिखता हूँ कि I wrote articles on entrepreneurship and technology, मैंने articles लिखे हैं entrepreneurship and technology पे. So ये मुझे लगता है बहुत common statement है. Any MBA student can write. Anybody can write with little bit interest in these areas. So हमको इसको strong बनाना है, इसको significant बनाना है, इसको हमको quantify करना है. मैं even in the coming slides I will see that I will connect one tip to the next tips. Quantification अब हर वक्त रहेगा. Even I will take up the new tips, the new ideas to make our resume more stronger, more impressive, sellable, successful. Okay. See how can we do that? I wrote 8 articles on entrepreneurship and technology, generating so many page views, so many likes, so many tweets, all numbers. I'm playing a number games. I hope I am able to make my point clear to you. Okay, quantifying is the key thing. Let's see, okay, whatever the achievements you have, whatever the information that you have, how can you quantify in your resume writing? Do take care of the numbers, the statistics, okay, but the real ones. Okay, so people try to do the homework, and it comes with practice. I think had I been there in the class itself, probably I could have given you some of the examples, and I could have asked you to do it there itself. We are in the online world, in the virtual world. Usually it's not possible, but I hope you will carry this idea forward and practice. Try to implement on your own accomplishment, on your own achievements, okay, and you try to see how better versions you can prepare. Make your interest as quirky as possible. Somewhere there is there is a space in our resume where we write our interests, maybe in the lower part. And if young people, very often they have a doubt, what should be the size of my resume? I think for the young people, it should not be more than 1, unless you have done too many things in your life. Okay, that's usually is not possible. Okay, so the 1-page compact summary, okay, what all you have about you, about your personalities, about your professional activities, okay, you can how you can represent it. So there, when you write a 1-page compact resume, you will also write about your interests. मैंने कहा था कि बहुत रियलिस्टिक रहना है, बट इंटरेस्ट तो कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. I think Madam somewhere has read about me in the beginning of the introduction, and she was very kind that although I'm from the academia, but I love playing my tennis. That's my interest. Okay. And why I write in there? Because I want to make my panel more curious. Probably they will ask 1 or 2 questions. Oh, do you play tennis? Do you follow Grand Slams? Do you know who is the #1 player in tennis today? Are you following this tournament or not? There might be 1 or 2 people in the group, but they will be more interested, and it will be an opportunity, to take them to your comfort zone and talk more about it, and it will be a favorable point. तो आपका इंटरेस्ट कुछ भी हो सकता है, वहां पे आप do not hesitate to reflect your personalities. For example, you are a skydiver, you are an adventure lover, you are a wildlife photographer who very often get entangled with the lions, who loves to visit safaris. You might be a computer science graduate with a minor in dance. What a combination, a strange combination. You may be a 3rd-degree black belt taekwondo, but also a management graduate from Indira Gandhi University. So know yourself, gentlemen, and put it like that. So if you have those kind of interests, patience must reflect in your interests. See how I put it here. The last line of your resume is where the most people list their interests. They do not actually say anything interesting, but they try to make them more curious. Intriguing. Oh, you love Mediterranean food. Which food you like most of Mediterranean, from Mediterranean? Okay. And what is the recipe, the smell, the taste? Okay. And Tarantino's movies. Okay. These are the different things. Okay. And these are not the common interests. And you love Formula 1 car racing. Do right. But आप जब लिखते हैं उन सब चीजों के बारे में, पहले तो आपका उसमें पेशेंस झलकना चाहिए, आप में वो, आपके अंदर वो होनी चाहिए कि यस, दिस इज समथिंग इन मी, और उस चीज को आप बहुत थॉरोली जानते हैं, एंड दैट सेट्स यू अपार्ट एज ए पर्सन. वो आपकी एकेडमिक प्रोफेशनल क्वालिटी, जो प्रोफेशनल जो टैलेंट है उससे अलग है वो. And that makes you more human, that makes you more acceptable in today's in corporate. जो ऑलराउंडर होते हैं वो बुकिश नहीं होते. They do not know only about their field, they know something about everything, and that's why they are hero, that's why they are winner, that's why they are achievers, and that's why they are loved by everyone. And these are the qualities of great leaders. People, I think I can keep talking on these issues. Okay, it's not one thing, there are many things I can connect with this. Okay, but there is a paucity of time, and so I had to be very, very rigid in my explanation. So let me go more to the next slides. Show the competitions. See, we do not get anything in life unless we put a fight. जिंदगी में कुछ भी नहीं मिलता है बिना संघर्ष के, बिना कोशिश के. Okay, we try, we aspire, we fail, we get up, and we get it. So competition is very important. So life में अगर आपने competitions में किसी तरह का competitions, okay, it could be academic, it could be skill based, okay, it could be about writing, it could be about sports, it could be about music, it could be about academia, it could be about coding also. Okay, आप बहुत अच्छे, it could be about designing also. Okay, आप बहुत अच्छे fashion designer हैं, okay, बहुत ही weird interest है, कोई बात नहीं. आप बहुत अच्छे coder हैं, बहुत अच्छे programmer हैं, आप बहुत अच्छा vlog करते हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे blogging करते हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे dancer हैं, और ये आपके पैशन है. I'm not, but I'm talking about the competition. I'm taking you one stage further. What I explained in the last slide is about the patient. वो कितनी भी odd और strange हो सकता है, but जब competition, that shows your excellence, that shows your power, that you are unbeatable in this field. You are the best in this field. Okay, so let's see how do we reflect, how do we show our competitions, our power of fighting out the best. So we win awards, we get into programs, do other impressive things, but do not convey the full amazingness of those accomplishments. How do we explain? How do we communicate? Resume is a powerful job communications. Let's communicate. अगर लाइफ में फाइट किए, लाइफ में आपने कई चीजों का अचीव किया है, तो प्लीज उनको रिफ्लेक्ट करिए और कैसे करना है. I think see this again. I'm leading it with example. I won Indira Gandhi University's innovation competition. आपने लिखा, देखिए, do not forget it. I'm talking about the competition, but also I'm trying to connect with the quantifications. Okay, all these things are to be, working in the tandem. इन सब चीजों को integrate करना है finally. अगर हमको एक बहुत पावरफुल सक्सेसफुल रेज्यूमे बनाना है तो वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑल द स्टेप्स. So I'm talking in isolation about one particular thing is competition here. अगर आपने इस तरह का कोई competitions लाइफ में किया है तो ये तरीका नहीं है आपको लिखने का. How many of you are writing like this? I am not sure, but if you write like this, you need to correct yourself. और क्या पावरफुल वर्जन हो सकता है, एक बेहतरीन तरीका क्या हो सकता है इस कंपटीशन को लिखने का? मे बी लाइक दिस. हमने कंपटीशन नहीं जीता, हमने 50,000 जीते हैं. हमने 50,000 जीते हैं और हमने जिस कंपटीशन में जीता है उसमें see the competition level, more than 180 entrepreneurs participated. It's not, you know, a small battle. It was a big fight. It has many rounds and the levels, and finally you come out clean as a winner. आपने 180 से ज्यादा लोगों को बीच में पार्टिसिपेट किया और फिर आपने इस इनोवेशन कॉम्पिटिशन को जीता है. देखिए क्वांटिफिकेशन है. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द पॉइंट इज कॉम्पिटिशन, ओके, बट यहाँ पे क्वांटिफाई, हाउ डू वी क्वांटिफाई? द नंबर इज आल्सो देयर, सो इट मेक्स इम्पैक्ट, okay, and it also shows your competitive spirit. It also shows that you are amazing at certain skills. शायद आप इनोवेशन में बहुत बेहतरीन है क्योंकि आपने इस कॉम्पिटिशन यूनिवर्सिटी में पार्ट लिया, इस नेशनल इवेंट में पार्ट लिया जहाँ पे इतने पार्टिसिपेशन अक्रॉस द कंट्री से है और उसमें यू बिकम विनर. I'm not getting any response from other side, but I believe that कि मैं आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं और मेरी कनेक्टिविटी ठीक है. शायद मैं I am on the target. Okay, with this impression I'm moving forward कि मैं audible हूँ, मैं clear हूँ और आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं. Okay, so let me move forward. Another example, accepted into Tata Foundation Management Program. Okay, अगर आपको इस तरह की कोई अचीवमेंट रही है, आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी से आपको कोई इंटर्नशिप मिली है या आपने कहीं अपने पर्सनल अप्रोच से, अपने पर्सनल एफर्ट से अगर कहीं पे कोई इस तरह की स्कॉलरशिप, फेलोशिप, इंटर्नशिप आपने प्राप्त करी है तो उसको आप इस तरह से लिखेंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत इंप्रेसिव नहीं रहेगा. आप इसमें अपना कंपटीशन नहीं बता रहे, इसमें तो सिर्फ बता रहे हैं कि आपने बस अप्लाई किया और आपको मिल गया. आपको कंपटीशन इसमें पैदा करना है, आप में बताना है कि ये कितना डिफिकल्ट था इसको इश्यू करना और कैसे आपने किया. Accepted into Tata Foundation Management Program, 9% admit rate. Tata Foundation selects only 50 students per year. कितनी एप्लीकेशन आती होंगी जिसमें कि 50 स्टूडेंट हो जो कि 9% के एडमिट रेट से एडमिट होते हैं. It's a very prestigious program for which you are accepted. So जब इतने prestigious प्रोग्राम के लिए आपका सिलेक्शन हुआ तो आप उसको उस तरह से मत लिखिए. आप बताइए उसमें क्या कंपटीशन किया, how grilling it was, how much efforts you put to come through. और वो तभी पॉसिबल जब हम इस तरह का स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट लिखते हैं. सो प्लीज शो द कंपटीशन. कंपटीशन इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वालिटी दैट यू आर कॉम्पिटिटिव. यू वांट टू वर्क हार्ड, यू वांट टू अर्न मोर फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एंड फॉर योर ओन ग्रोथ. कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपकी पर्सनल एम्बिशंस को इतनी वैल्यू नहीं करता जितना वो अपनी ग्रोथ को करता है. तो ये चीज ध्यान रखिए आप कि अगर आप एम्बिशियस हैं, अगर आप कॉम्पिटिटिव हैं तो डेफिनेटली इट इज बेनिफिशियल. उस कंपनी के लिए भी उतना ही बेनिफिशियल है क्योंकि आपकी ग्रोथ के साथ कंपनी भी ग्रो करती है, आपकी टीम ग्रो करती है, एक कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग होती है, एक पॉजिटिव वाइब्स बनती है. ओके, सो कंपटीशन यू मस्ट रिफ्लेक्ट इन योर रेज्यूमे राइटिंग. अगर आप किसी को जानते हैं, आप किसी कंपनी में आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, अगर आप वहाँ पे किसी एम्प्लॉइज को जानते हैं तो उनसे फीडबैक लीजिए. दैट्स अ ग्रेट थिंग. आप अपने आप को अलाइन कर लेंगे, आप अपने आप को प्रिपेयर कर लेंगे. अच्छा, उस कंपनी में इस तरह की रिक्वायरमेंट है, इस तरह का जॉब है, इस तरह का दे वांट ए फाइनेंशियल एनालिसिस्ट और मैं मैनेजमेंट ग्रेजुएट हूँ और मेरे हिसाब से दे वांट सम मार्केटिंग मैनेजर और उनमें इतनी पोजीशन है एंड दे वांट ट्रेनिंग मैनेजर्स. ओके, इस तरह से पोजीशन है, उनकी क्या रिक्वायरमेंट एग्जैक्टली क्या मांगते हैं, पेंट्री बोर्ड का क्या एटीट्यूड है. अगर एक इनसाइडर आपको, एंड इट्स अ कॉमन थिंग, ओके, ये आपकी शो करती है. सोशल नेटवर्क यहाँ पे काम आता है, आपका लिंक्डइन नेटवर्क यहाँ पे काम आता है, आपके एलुमनी नेटवर्क यहाँ पे काम आता है, आपके फॉर्मर स्टूडेंट आपके स्कूल से जो निकले आप मैनेजमेंट से, तो वो आपकी हेल्प करते हैं. दे आर वर्किंग इन द सेम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सेम कंपनी एंड दे विल हेल्प यू, दे विल बी ग्रेट. सो डू नॉट हेजिटेट टू आस्क फॉर फीडबैक. ओके, उनको बताइए अरे मेरा रिज्यूमे इस तरह का है यार, डू यू थिंक आई नीड टू डू समथिंग डिफरेंट. सो एक थोड़ा सा इनफॉर्मल पिचिंग एट मेल, okay, maybe with other social media networks, maybe the WhatsApp or anything with you are conversant with, या आप कितने comfortable हैं उन employees से, उस बंदे से, accordingly you can get the feedback. It's a very very important thing. उससे आपको बहुत help होगी कि उस कंपनी का internal culture क्या है, वो एक prospective candidates में क्या देखना चाहते हैं. So let's see that you need to build a relationship, and that is the real social networking. Okay, I was telling that you have many friends in on social media network, especially on the Facebook. There are many followers on the Twitters, but real life में कितने लोग हैं आपके साथ यहाँ पे पता चलता है. Okay, so if any employee from an organization can give you feedback, it would help you immensely in preparing your resume in the right directions. Okay, so as I said that it could be, you can get them from any source. Okay, maybe through some kind of interactions. Okay, through alumni network. Okay, through social outreach. कहीं भी किसी ग्रुप में अगर कोई contact में आता है तो उनसे आप पूछने की कोशिश करें. Write a very formal. See, I have put it here in 2 lines. मैंने कोशिश करी है उसको एक feedback मांगने की कोशिश करो. Hello, Mr. Krishna. It's great to meet you. Yesterday, I really enjoyed hearing about your experience at Infosys, and I'm excited to apply for this position. I know you was quite busy, but could you spare 2 minutes to share any feedback on my resume before I submit? Even a quick gut reaction would mean a lot. मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा आपका experts comment की जरूरत नहीं, पर एक छोटी सी अगर आपकी reaction होगी, अगर आप एक बार 2 मिनट के लिए उसको देख लेंगे, with a cursory glance, I think it would be a great help to me. आप इस तरह का एक mail छोटा सा लिख सकते हैं, very informal but full of warmth, okay, and get the people's feedback. Friends, ये बहुत मैटर करता है. The insider's feedback. What are the expectations of our organizations from a young prospective graduates? अपना resume share करके उनसे इस तरह की feedback आप ले सकते हैं. Okay, could I continue another 10 minutes? I hope I may be allowed.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I hope I'm not getting late to the group. Could I continue, please? Yes, ma'am? Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So this is what I mean to say, that let's try to get insiders feedback about what all we are doing. So please send them your resume to them and get a feedback. And professionals, they do come back. Okay, they respond, no doubt about it. Many students, or many of our students, they go abroad in the many American universities. They go and from there they ask for a letter of recommendation. They ask for some kind of feedback, and we do provide it. Okay, so it's a very well-connected world, and we try to help each other, and that is the way we grow. We all grow. So when you come to a position, it's your time to extend your help to other people. Coming to the very, very important themes, where how can we associate ourselves with a big brand? मेरे लिए तो ये ज़्यादा important है कि you conduct yourself as a brand. आप अपने आप को brand बनाइए. आप अपने आप का एक tag रखिए. आप अपनी brand personality बनाइए. आप अपनी खुद एक brand image बनाइए. Most of you might be, it's a sports loving state, especially in Haryana. Okay, and it has given many world-class athletes to the country, and we are always proud of them. So, for example, the players, maybe not exactly from Haryana, but even I'm taking the example of our country. Like Virat Kohli is a one player. Okay, और हम पूछते हैं विराट कोहली में क्या ऐसा स्पेशल है यार? तो बोलते हैं कि यार he is a very aggressive captain. One word if you define, I say he is a very aggressive. पर वैसे ही अगर आप लोगों से पूछूंगा धोनी में क्या है यार, तो everybody will say यार he is a very cool captain. उसमें बहुत patience है. So but they are brand in themselves. दोनों की अपनी अपनी quality, and they are matchless. They are amazing players. They are world-class athletes. So do not try to be what you are not. Know what you are inside. आपकी personality क्या है? Okay. So अगर आप रणवीर सिंह है, तो डू नॉट ट्राई टू बिकम रणवीर कपूर. एक चॉकलेटी हीरो, एक एक्शन हीरो है. ठीक है. सो इफ यू आर अ सलमान खान, यू आर एक्शन हीरो. ओके. एंड इफ यू आर अ रोमांटिक स्टार, यू हैव अ डिफरेंट क्वालिटी, डिफरेंट ट्रेट्स. पर अपनी ट्रेट्स को पहचानिए, अपनी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को पहचानिए. ओके. तो एक तो वो चीज होती है कि आप अपने आप को कैसे एसोसिएट करते हैं. दूसरी चीज है कि आप अपनी अचीवमेंट्स को, अपनी प्रोफेशनल एक्टिविटीज को कैसे बड़े नाम के साथ जोड़ते हैं. मैं इस चीज को फिर एक्सप्लेन करूंगा विद एग्जांपल्स, सो दैट यू कैन रियली प्रैक्टिस व्हेन यू डेवलप योर रेज्यूमेस. So when we use the big names, definitely it gives us the credibility, it gives us attention. लोग पढ़ते हैं क्योंकि उनकी अपनी एक ट्रस्ट वैल्यू होती है, उनको सभी लोग पहचानते हैं, वो ऑलरेडी एक एस्टैब्लिश नाम होता है, और उनके साथ अगर हम जुड़ते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं हमें उनका एडवांटेज मिलता है. Let's see with the examples. I organize a college fest with all India participations. आपने अपने रेज्यूमे में इस तरह से लिख दिया, बट मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पे बिग ब्रांड्स मिसिंग है. और मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि जहाँ चीज़ें नहीं है वहाँ पे आपको फोर्सफुली डालना, बट आपको देखना होगा, आपको जरूर कुछ ना कुछ मिल जाएगा, बहुत अच्छे से मिल सकता है. ठीक है. So somewhere you can make them very very interesting. I think much better than what I have written here in this example. इसको हम और कितना अच्छे तरीके से लिख सकते हैं, वहाँ पे किस तरह से ब्रांड एसोसिएशन कर सकते हैं, कैसे हम जोड़ सकते हैं. Let's see that. Same sentence को repeat करो. Organize a national management fest in college with a footfall of 1,500 students across the country, including IIMs, IITs, and central universities. Oh, my God, what all you've done. You are a brilliant organizer. मैंने इतना मैनेजर बोल रहा यार ये बंदे ने क्या किया. अपने कॉलेज में उसने नेशनल मैनेजमेंट फेस्टिवल को ऑर्गेनाइज किया, और जिसमें कि 1,500 स्टूडेंट्स को बुलाया, और इसमें मोस्ट ऑफ देम वर फॉर IIMs, IITs एंड सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज. और उस चीज को आप अंडर वैल्यू कर रहे हैं सिंपली बाय राइडिंग कि आई ऑर्गेनाइज अ कॉलेज फेस्ट विद ऑल इंडिया पार्टिसिपेशन. सो लेट्स सेल योरसेल्फ पीपल. ओके, यू हैव ऑल टैलेंट, यू ऑल हैव डन ग्रेट थिंग्स. कहीं ना कहीं यार स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं, अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटीज आते हैं, अच्छे कॉलेजेस से आते हैं. ओके, ट्राई टू सी दैट हाउ वी कैन प्रोजेक्ट आवरसेल्फ. ओके, सो अगेन मैंने क्वांटिफिकेशन को भी ध्यान रखा, मैंने ब्रांड्स को भी ध्यान रखा, मैंने इफेक्टिवनेस को, इम्पैक्ट को भी ध्यान रखा. I will show you with one more example to bring more clarity to it. I donate blood. कई बच्चे होते हैं ना, उनके पास लिखने के लिए कुछ नहीं होता. हम रेज्यूमे देखते हैं, कई बार आते हैं, सिंपली लिख देते हैं यार आई डोनेट ब्लड एवरीवेयर. उससे ये पता चलेगा कि अरे ये बंदा वो ब्लड डोनेट करता है, ये बहुत स्ट्रांग है, ये बहुत ब्रेव है. आप सभी ने लाइफ में किया होगा, कॉलेज में किया होगा, स्कूल में किया होगा, सोसाइटी में किया होगा, हॉस्पिटल्स में, कैंप्स में भी किया होगा. But I don't say that we mean to do a business here. No, I am very against it. I'm very ethically strong person. I always say that, okay, that we have to represent what we really contain, what we really purchase. जो चीज नहीं उसको हम कभी नहीं करेंगे showcase, but जो हमारे पास really है. Somebody has raised the hands. Should I? Gitanjali is raising the hands. You wanted to say something? Is Gitanjali?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you I saw that you raised your hand. There is a message. So please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, sorry for interrupting you, but you are talking about कि be real, but not always we are मतलब हमें हमेशा वो जॉब नहीं मिलती जिसके लिए मतलब we are मतलब हम होते हैं या बने होते हैं. तो हमारी क्वालिटीज हमेशा ऐसा नहीं होता कि हाँ उस जॉब के लिए मतलब अगर जो हम अपनी रियल क्वालिटीज लिखें तो we will be preferred for that job, that particular job. It's not always be मतलब ऐसा नहीं है ना कि अगर हम अपनी रियल क्वालिटीज लिखते हैं तो हम उस जॉब के लिए प्रेफरेबल हूं बाय द इंटरव्यूअर्स और व्हाटएवर मतलब जो भी है.
See, first of all, thank you so much. Okay, it's a really interesting question, Gitanjali. आपने कहा कि अगर हम अपने रियल सेल्फ को, रियल क्वालिटीज को अगर लिखते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि हम उस जॉब के लिए फिट नहीं है. Am I right to understand? आप ये कहना चाह रहे हैं?
नो सर, मतलब आई वांट टू से कि इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज मतलब कि ये ऐसा नहीं है कि हम हमेशा वो जॉब करें. कभी ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि हमें कोई और जॉब करनी पड़ रही है जिसके लिए हम लोग बने हैं या हमारा एम है वो ही करें हम हमेशा.
So that's right. This is what the world takes place. It unfolds before us. कहाँ हम लाइफ में एक जॉब पे रुकते हैं. You are absolutely right. जब हम अपनी जर्नी को स्टार्ट करते हैं, जब हम कॉलेज से निकलते हैं, we pick up one job, we work there for a few years, and then we switch over to another job. और पता चला कि by the time we get retired, we have worked in 10-15 organizations. तो वो होता है. I mean, that is not my point. मैं जो point जो बोल रहा हूँ, what realistic, जब आप there is a batch of 50 students जो कि सारे MBA graduates हैं, वो सब common है, उनमें common qualifications है, but उन्होंने कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा different कर रखा. They all are different as individuals. So अपनी personalities को with all commonness कैसे reflect करना चाहिए. रही बात jobs की, तो We all do different jobs, so वो करना ही और हमें switch और करना पड़ेगा. We are not going to stick to one job. You're absolutely right. If I tell you, you know, I started my career from armed forces, and I'm not in academics. Okay, and this is my fourth job. I do not know. I still have a long career and where I will land further. So वो सही है. But with every moment, with every transitions, you know, we carry forward new skills. We carry forward a new oneself, ourself. हम अपने आप को नए तरीके से बनाते हैं, नई skills पैदा करते हैं और उन नई skills को नए तरीके से represent करते हैं. Okay, and there we need to be realistic. I mean to say that. When I say real, I mean to say what we mean for. Okay, in terms of skills, in terms of personality, not in relation to the jobs. Okay. I hope, am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for your questions. Yeah. Can I continue? Yeah. Dear organizers.
Yes, sir. You can continue.
I can continue. Kindly allow me another 5 to 7 minutes, and then I will wrap it up. Yeah. I donate blood every year, for example, you know, and how can we connect with the brands like this? And let me quickly wrap up. And my passion to serve the humanity inspired me to donate blood every year for Red Cross Society. There are two things we are reflecting here. The one is that you have a passion to serve the humanity, and that's why probably you donate every year. And second thing is that you also donate for the Red Cross Society. I think most of the blood camps are conducted by this particular society in India, and it's a global society. It's an international name. And that we can use it. And we are not faking. We are not unreal. Okay. But it's all about competition. Okay. And we have to cut through the competitions. We have to make ourselves as one of the best option. और उसके लिए हमें सब बनाना होता है. No job is coming to us. Nobody will come. Those days are over. I remember my fathers have been called from the home, come and do the job. The literacy rate, the employment opportunities, okay, were different, but today we have a different world. We have to grow, you know, our own and grab the situations. We have to hold it from the front. I have worked for MNC. That's not right. सभी लोगों ने काम कुछ न कुछ MNC में किसी प्रकार का experience है तो हम उसको कैसे represent कर सकते हैं? Maybe I have worked as a business development manager for Nestle, or maybe for HUL, and designed the new Maggie campaign for digital media. आपने मैगी का नाम यूज किया. It's again a global brand. Nestle is a global company. That we are using it. So we sometimes we do have experience. कई बार हमारे पास skills होती है, अनुभव होता है, सब कुछ होता है, पर हमको उसको represent नहीं कर पाते हैं. That is my focus in today's presentation कि किस तरह से every word, every sentence that we write, we have to revisit. We have to see how better it can be, you know, reproduce. कितने अच्छे, क्या हमारी सारे टैलेंट्स, क्या हमारी सारी क्वालिटीज, वर्च्यूज आप इसमें रिप्रेजेंट हो चुकी हैं, या इसको और कितने बेहतर तरीके से प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. Rule of 7 is about, you know, whenever you apply for a job, very specific to a company, please go to the company. हम लोग जब भी कभी resume के बारे में बात करते हैं, हम कहते हैं कि we have to follow this rule. And what is this rule? There are 7 words relating to the organization, company, jobs that you have to keep on repeating in your resume. उनकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं? वो चाहते हैं प्रोग्रामर, वो चाहते हैं वेब डिजाइनर, वो चाहते हैं बहुत इंस्पायर्ड मोटिवेटेड बंदा. देयर आर सर्टेन कीवर्ड्स दैट दे आर यूजिंग इट, ओके, फॉर द जॉब प्रोफाइल. उन सारे वर्ड्स को आप कैसे स्कैन करते हैं, कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं और अपने रेज्यूमे में उसको रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. दैट इज द रूल ऑफ 7. Like, you know, is the find buzzwords, and this you can get it from the company's websites. या उस जॉब प्रोफाइल से आपको पता चल जाएगा कि उनकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस, उन वर्ड्स पे आप कैसे काम करते हैं. वो बार बार बोलते हैं कि मार्केटिंग, मार्केटेड, एडवर्टाइज, प्रमोटेड, बिल्ड, क्रिएटेड, इनिशिएटेड. उन सारी चीजों को बहुत, दैट यू आर इनिशिएटर, यू आर ए क्रिएटर, यू आर ए डेवलपर, you are a marketer, you are an advertiser. Okay, so how do you represent it? Okay, that's an example I share here. For marketing jobs, you have to say that I marketed YouTube campaign, video featuring CNN Larry King. Okay, of course, you might have not done that. You might have done something else. आप उसको लिखिए. Okay, but write something what they want to see in your resume. जब आप उनकी लैंग्वेज में बात करते हैं, जब आप उनके साथ दिखते हैं, तो उनको लगता है he is the one that we need. यही बंदे की हमको जरूरत है यार. ये सब कुछ हमारे जैसा करता है. इसकी चॉइस वैसी है, इसकी फीलिंग ऐसी है, इसका टेम्परामेंट ऐसा है, इसकी पर्सनैलिटी हमारे जैसी है. Created, we use the word created. For a startup job, created Facebook campaign highlighting top 20 alumni of the university. इतने ज़्यादा share हुए, इतने ज़्यादा comments हैं उसमें. Okay. So keeping in mind the specific positions, how we represent ourselves. Okay. Compiling, yeah, again, just let you know, okay, about the language part, okay, how powerfully we can reproduce this statement, responsible for developing a new फाइलिंग सिस्टम. आपने एक फाइलिंग सिस्टम के CHR में आपने एक जॉब किया, आप दूसरे जॉब के लिए ट्राई कर रहे हैं. आपने गीतांजलि ने कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा, यू आर स्विचिंग टू द न्यू जॉब. आपने पहली जॉब का जो एक्सपीरियंस उसको आप लिखने लग गए. अब यहाँ पे आपने लिखा, उसको कितनी अच्छी तरीके से आप लिख रहे हैं, कितना इफेक्टिवली लिख रहे हैं, किस तरह की वैल्यू एडिशन वो आपकी स्किल्स में दे रहा है, किस तरह से आपके जॉब में दे रहा है, किस तरह से आप अलाइनमेंट कर रहे हैं अपने नए जॉब्स के लिए. आई थिंक ऑल दिस स्टेटमेंट व्हिच आई लिस्टेड हियर आर रियली पुअर, ऑल्दो दे आर वेरी मीनिंगफुल. दे कैरी सर्टेन आइडियाज एंड स्किल्स, certain jobs that you performed, but हमको शायद उसको और अच्छी तरह से रिप्रेजेंट करना. और कैसे उसके लिए probably I put it here. You are not responsible for developing a new filing system, but you developed a new filing system that reduced the paperwork by 50%. More impactful. I was in charge of customer complaints and all ordering problems. No, I handled all customer complaints and resolved. That shows that you have decision-making power. You are not troubleshooter. You are troubleshooter, not troublemaker. You have generated the highest number of new customer accounts in your department. I'm rewriting the same statement. Okay. When you are moving from one job to the next second, how you carry forward the experience of your previous job to the next job. Assistant in implementing new campus dining programs. Okay. You can read the statement and see that, okay, how the new version has become more impressive. It represents your real talent. Cover letters. Okay, there are 3 reasons why we write cover letters and what should be there in the cover letters. No resumes are, even you write emails. Okay, in these days we are not sending it the hard copy. Okay, but even if you write the emails and there you provide as an attachment your resume, even in the email that goes the cover letter, I think there are 3 things are very, very important. You write just 3 lines, but the 3 lines should capture the 3 important points. Why? In a 1 sentence, you will write why you are the best choice for the job. In the 1 statement, you will capture your qualities, your experience, your overall persona, what you've done, about the department you are going to apply. Okay, that comes from the homework. Okay, what you can do for them, and to demonstrate how you can help the company grow with your additions. Once they take you, what kind of a value additions it could be for the organizations. Do not write, I have seen many lengthy cover letters and they are like a biography. They write everything which is there already in the resume. Then what is the meaning of writing a resume? Just write 3 things in a 3 statement and that makes sense. With an example I should share, this is an example that I got it from, from the Forbes magazine, from the David Silverman, a very popular one. And this is the best example he said that I ever received is. So, and 3 things are there. I'm writing response to the opening for a particular position. So I value may report to you. I can offer you the 7 years of experience. You are highlighting your quality just in 1 sentence. 7 years of experience in managing communications for the top tier firms, excellent project management skills, and a great eye for detail, all of which should make me an ideal candidate for this opening. जो आपने इस statement में लिखा है, इसको आप अपने resume में reflect करने जा रहे हैं with proper details, with proper branding, with proper quantifications, with proper language. And last, I would teach my resume for your review and would welcome the chance to speak with you sometimes. People, I think this is the last lap, okay, the final stage of the presentation. So I just wrap up that. Yeah, Divya, before I talk about this, I think people can meanwhile read it and I can take up these questions. Yeah, please, Divya, go ahead. I would be happy to address your questions. Divya,
my
हाँ, बोलिए आप. Divya, you can speak, yeah.
Sir, as a MBA student, should we make a resume or CV?
I think you didn't notice what I said in the beginning. अब मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ आपसे कि resume हो या CV हो, okay. अधिकतर जगह इनको एक दूसरे नाम से जाना जाता है, interchangeably they are used. In Indian context, if I ask Indian industry concept में, they demand resume. CV मैंने कहा था कि बहुत पॉपुलर है एकेडमिक वर्ल्ड में, CV बहुत डिटेल्ड होता है, ठीक है, एंड स्पेशली इन अमेरिकन कॉन्टेक्स्ट इट्स मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. ओके, वहाँ पे उनका डिस्टिंक्शन बहुत क्लियर है. बट इन इंडिया स्पेशली फॉर द यंग ग्रेजुएट्स, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द कंपनी, यू शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट द फॉर्मेट. और आपको रिज्यूमे आप प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं. और क्या फॉर्मेट होना चाहिए? आई थिंक देयर आर मेनी टाइप्स अवेलेबल, बट फॉर द स्टूडेंट, फॉर द यंग ग्रेजुएट्स, आई थिंक द हाइब्रिड वन इज द बेस्ट, जहाँ पे आप दोनों बेस्ट फॉर्मेट, जहाँ पे कि एक ऑर्डर में अपनी अचीवमेंट्स को, अपनी क्वालिफिकेशंस को बता सकते हैं, दूसरी तरफ अपनी स्किल सेट्स को बता सकते हैं, अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस को बता सकते हैं. सो हाइब्रिड वन इज द बेस्ट एग्जांपल. हाइब्रिड रेज्यूमे इज गुड फॉर यू. इट्स माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस. Am I clear, Divya? Hope I'm audible.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, fine, thank you. So these are some of the do's, and people read it and know what you are going to write. Be simple, direct, and concise. I say that maintain a word limit of 1 page. Very often we get confused whether we should use American English or a British English. Okay, I say there is a rule of thumb that you should follow, is that use one English. अगर आप अमेरिकन इंग्लिश में सब कुछ लिख रहे हो तो अमेरिकन इंग्लिश यूज करिए, और ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश में यूज करें तो ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश यूज करिए. कंप्यूटर MS वर्ड वुड हेल्प यू देयर. वहाँ पे आप चूज कर सकते हैं अपनी लैंग्वेज और अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन यूज करते हैं. कई बार कंपनीज बहुत स्पेसिफिक होती है कि नहीं उनको अमेरिकन इंग्लिश चाहिए, देन अगेन दैट यू कैन यूज इट. सो टेक केयर ऑफ दिस थिंग्स. Keywords are very, very important. I think that you can get it from the job specification, from the word site. Try to reread. Try to identify any problems, okay, with the words, with the sentences, the grammatical errors, the punctuations, and try to get it correct. Proofreading is very, very important. Represent information, the bullet forms, avoid any kind of images. The fonts, typeface, font size are very, very important. Usually what is advisable are the Times and the Arial. And use the action word that talks about, results, okay, that talks about momentum. The words such as pioneered, champion get more attention rather than comments are initiated. Okay, so how do we, but again, I tell you, the entire process is about practicing, how you practice it. Okay, we may share the tips, but finally you have to practice it. You have to take them separately. You have to choose the sentences. You have to think about your personalities और उनको लिखने की कोशिश करिए, उनको कोशिश करिए कितना बेहतरीन तरीके से हम अपने resume में represent कर सकते हैं. And update your resume on regular basis with every change in position experience. That's a very, very important things. Resume ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार लिख दिया और वो हमारे पास रहेगा 10 सालों तक. Every day, every month, every week, every year, we add new things to our personalities. Okay, और उन चीजों से हमको अपडेट करना है, हमें अपने resume को अपडेट करना है, ठीक है. So do not think that एक बार लिख लिया that's final. Very often you to change it, क्योंकि फॉर्मेट्स को बदलना है, कंपनी के रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से बदलना है, हमको कई बार जॉब स्किल्स के हिसाब से अपने बदलना है. तो it's a kind of a living organism. We need to keep updating. And certain things I suggest that you need to be very, very careful, okay, when you are designing the resume. Some of the don'ts do not put on your resume. Do not talk about your sexual preferences, okay, unless it is very, very important. Your religious ideologies, your political preferences, no, not necessary. Do not bluff. Okay, you are killing all your chances. Do not stretch more than 2 pages. You might be having great experience. And अगर आप लिख रहे हैं एक महाभारत तो समझ लो कि you are not able to write it. आपको लिखने का तरीका आपका प्रॉपर नहीं है. Shorter the better. Load your resumes with too many details of your qualification experience. Not needed. Complete no. No designs, no graphics, no colors, no photos. Unless you get a format from the company itself, आपको इस format में देना, then it's okay. I think you can violate these things. Do not include the personal I and we. Okay, put it in a neutral third person. Use capital letters, exclamation. Do not use capital letters, exclamation marks. Okay, be careful that you are not writing to your friends. It's not a platform like Facebook or WhatsApp where you can use exclamation marks, the question marks. Okay, without any limit. That's not necessary. Be careful about the jargons and the slangs. Okay, your language has to be very formal, appropriate, okay, suiting to the occasions. Avoid the empty phrases that do not give any meaning. Extremely creative. I don't think there is any meaning. If you're a creative, it should come with an example. I'm a creative in a way that I every month I paint one new drawing. That's my creativity. I write poems. That's my creativity. I'm a creative that doesn't give any meaning. He's a great captain. I think it doesn't give any meaning. Are I'm great captain? He is a captain that wins all the losing matches. Okay, that's why he's a great captain. Noble-hearted. What is noble you've done? Please explain. Problem solver. In which way you have offered solution to the crisis. So if you tell a story, okay, in a 1 or 2 sentences, that will be great rather than putting these empty phrases. People be careful about writing a referee's name. Take their permission before writing the names. Okay. Sometimes your employers will fall back on them. They will ask about you. They will inquire about you, and they should not be clueless. अरे मुझे पता नहीं आपने मेरा नाम दे दिया. तो जब भी आप अपने प्रोफेसर्स का नाम देते हैं उसमें अपने रेफरेंसेस में एज अ रेफरीज, please take their permissions. Please inform them. And with this, I think thanks so much. I do not know how much time I have spent, and I have exceeded then the time that is given for me. I am really sorry for that, but probably this was the idea I wanted to cover, and I was a little fast in the last spin, but it's okay. And I'm open to any questions, any observation. I would be happy to talk to you. Yeah. Anyone, please feel free to express yourself. Okay.
Students, are you having any question? Then you can please
I think
ask your question.
Yeah. Yeah, then go ahead, please. Gitanjali, aapka main haath dekh. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Sir, I want to ask you about the English language. You, मतलब आप जो prefer करने की बोल रहे थे, British और American. So in India we are using the British English ना. So American English में अगर हम लोग अपना resume या CV बनाते हैं, तो वो मतलब बहुत सारे ऐसे vocabulary words होते हैं जो British English में अलग हैं और American English में अलग.
Right.
So it's not our preference ना. It's मतलब MNC कंपनी है कोई, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग तो हम लोग फिर भी कर सकते हैं, बट जो यहाँ पे लोकल कंपनीज होती हैं इन इंडिया, वी कांट प्रेफर द अमेरिकन इंग्लिश.
थैंक्स गीतांजलि. आप जो पूछ रहे हैं,
यस,
अगर आपको कोई प्रेफरेंस नहीं दिया गया है लैंग्वेज के बारे में कंपनी ने या एम्प्लॉयर ने, उस केस में यू स्टिक टू द वन वर्जन. और आपका एक कॉमन सेंस है कि अगर मैं यार एक अमेरिकन कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी के लिए अप्लाई करूं तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन गो फॉर अमेरिकन इंग्लिश.
यस सर.
पर कई बार हमें पता नहीं होता. सपोज वहां पर उस केस में प्लीज स्टिक टू वन फॉर्म ऑफ इंग्लिश. लेट इट बी अमेरिकन और अ ब्रिटिश. स्टिक टू वन.
ओके सर.
एक्सक्यूज मी. या anyone else? I could have been more happy to interact with you in person. Hope we will get a chance sometimes in future. Okay, probably where it would be easy for us to open up quite frequently and address the issues. Any more questions? Any more observations? Anyone? Please feel free to express yourself.
Okay, now formally, I would like to invite Dr. Ritu Bajaj, Chairperson, Department of Management, IG University, Mirpur Rewari, to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Smedley. Well, Professor Gajinder Chauhan, indeed, it was a pleasure sitting throughout your session. Rather, I have learned a lot. The way you have in total, expressed the complete way of making a resume. You put every single thing in such a beautiful way, every single thing expressed through examples, the weakness, the weak points, how the same line or the same thing can be expressed in a better way, the strength, how it can be, the way of writing actually matters. So it's rightly said, writing a resume or making a resume is an art. And that's what you have reflected in your presentation today. Resume writing is not easy, it's actually an art. And your presentation completely shows that. And you very well began, sir. Be a social man. You do not know people who are around you, and you are trying to, and judging yourself is more important when you're writing a resume. So you should know what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and how to convert those weaknesses, write those weaknesses in a strength way. Actually, it's an art. Sir, I think we had both the professors today, rather you being a professor with an industry background, and the first speaker also, we had both professionals today who had encouraged and rather enriched their thoughts and enriched they were filled and enriched with their knowledge. And students, you should be actually thankful to them who are spending their time after 5 for yourself, for you people, and take the best out of them. They're sharing so many things. Every single word they're speaking is important. The kind of experience that they have has to be actually encashed by you people. If you're not encashing, that's completely your fault, entirely your fault. Here's a platform, please come and interact with them. They're opening it up for you. They're making you to ask questions. Please be ready, because these kind of platforms and nowadays being online, we can interact. Otherwise, getting time from these high profile people is not easy. Even the first speaker we had, he spoke so well on the interview skills. And same as you, Professor Chauhan. Thanks a lot for your time. Actually, you spoke that what this is a need. This is the power of communication. And resume actually has 7 seconds of a time given on a paper, and it has to be so and so powerful that it creates an impact. Because interview comes later, resume comes first. So this is really the face of a person before he appears for an interview. Thanks a lot, Professor Chauhan. Would like that you would spare more time with our students, and would like to meet in person with our complete team of management. We have a team of 8 regular people in management department. Every single person is working very hard, very, very hard. Rather, sir, it's a displeasure in sharing one thing. I thought I would ask, after you leaving, I would ask them to close the recording, but I would like to share it in front of you. There are few students who are using abusive language, writing wrong messages in the chat box, because of which we stopped the chat box in the last session. When we are putting efforts for them, they should understand the importance of what is going on.
Right.
Rather, I would like that please give a message from your side also. What happens at BITS Pilani? What kind of disciplinary action can be taken against them? Wrong messages cannot be, the chat box cannot be used for mishandling the things by the students. This thing will not be acceptable. The whosoever students are doing this, they will be rusticated from this workshop. No certificates, rather it will be taken further ahead to the Vice Chancellor. This nonsense cannot be accepted. So rather, I would like if you could kindly share the kind of disciplinary actions which can be taken against the students in BITS Pilani if they write these nonsense things on the chat boxes. The nonsense pictures are shared by the students on the chat box. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm very well there, ma'am. Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Bajaj and Dr. Sramadi as well. Okay. I'm really pleased to be here with you all this evening. I didn't see the student, I didn't see you all. Okay, but one thing I can say that I enjoy the intention for which you are doing for the student, your commitment, your vision, that how much you feel for the student and for your department. You have a battery of experts. You mentioned them, 8 or 9 people are working very hard for the department, and they have so much concern throughout the day. You are working in the uni, you are contacting with the experts and calling them for the student, and because with none of your interests, and that shows okay how much committed you are as a teacher. Okay, and I'm very sure, student, I would like to tell you that you are in the great hands. These people are doing for you. Okay, they are calling us, they are managing the sessions for you, they are working in day and night. You do not know how much efforts they are putting you. Okay, so please do not demoralize them. Please respect them, what they are doing. You do not understand now. Okay, you may be novice, you may be fresher, but please understand what your teacher is doing. Nobody else can do that. Okay, they're building your career. Okay, they are making path for your future. Okay, please respect them. Okay, It's a great community from where I also come. Okay, so it's a disheartening to know. Okay, I feel really bad. And as madam has asked me, how do I deal with such cases in Bijplani? I think I'm privileged. We are very lucky. We are the blessed people that we never come across this kind of incidents. Okay, it never happened, ma'am. It's such a meritorious society. We get India's best brands through our. This is the only test in the country. It's an online test that started 15 years back, and it is the only society that is based on merit. Okay, we do not have the reservation. This is the only institute in the country that do not have any reservation. Anybody has a talent is welcome to enter into the Bijplani. So luckily, we never come across this kind of incident, especially in a forum, in a formal forum. As to young people, they could be mischievous, they could go wrong sometimes. We can understand it, but not in such forums. Okay. So if it happens of this nature, I think this is something very serious, and this speaks about them, what they are, and we are talking about the personality development. We are talking about future aspirations, okay, and they should know, okay, where they are heading, what they want from the life, okay, and how they can upset, okay, this kind of things, okay, which have such a noble intent, okay, just to serve you, just to make you better, okay, just to prepare you for the future, okay. How can you teach your own people, your own teacher? This is something, absolutely not acceptable. Okay, it should never happen. Okay? I'm really disheartened to know this. Although I didn't notice I was in flow. Okay, you are talking about this session or the previous session. I'm not very sure. I was just in my flow to make the concept clear to you. But the student, please, okay, take a note of it. Okay. You are the brand ambassador. You should represent, okay, what best you draw from your university, from your teacher. Okay, you are their mouthpiece. Okay, when you speak and you say that she is my professor and she was my professor and he was my professor. Okay, that speaks, okay, about their personalities, okay, what they have given to you. Okay, so please be up to their expectations. Okay. And they are so genuine people. As I said in the beginning, the world today that we have is in the confinement. For the last, I tell you about my university. For last 1.5 years, we are very careful. We have not invited students. Things are very difficult here because we have 100%. All our students, they stay in the hostels, so we cannot keep them together here due to the pandemic, because the infection will catch up so fast that we cannot control it. So last 1.5 years, for the last 3 semesters, we are engaging our classes online, but we didn't come across a single incident where anybody has violates, okay, the very principle of online class, online interactions. So please, take care of these things, and it should not happen in the future. Okay, and ultimately, it's up to you, ma'am, how you want to deal with them. But please give them a lesson. Thank you them. And coming to you is personally, okay, 1 or 2 minutes, you completely captured what I wanted to say in this talk. How beautifully, how effectively, okay, you rephrase the ideas, okay, to the student, and that shows that you people are doing a great job for the students. Okay, you are an extraordinary team there, and that's something that I probably couldn't imagine. Okay, so keep doing the same great work, man, and hopefully we'll get a chance to interact sometime in person with you, with all your colleagues and all the students in the future. I would love to be there. Okay. And sorry for the extra time. Okay, I was not sure, but I love speaking. I love talking. Basically I'm a teacher. Okay, so I thought I should explain it. Okay.
So looking forward for more interactions. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for even sharing. Thanks a lot for even sharing that these kind of incidences do not take place in your organization. They should understand the importance.
Should not have any
of the time.
It should not have any space in the academia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so please give them a lesson, okay, and set a precedent, okay. So that anybody else in the future cannot do that. Okay, set a precedent. Whatever.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Dr. Bajaj.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. To your entire team, okay, for hosting such a great event, okay, and all mean for the students and for their development. Okay, thanks a lot. I hope I can leave now.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Okay.
sir. Just one more minute, sir. I would like
Yeah.
to introduce you, rather thank all my people who are behind it. It's Dr. Smithy, who you can see. We have Dr. Jaswinder also. He was a part of the, we have Dr. Mr. Sushant, Dr. Kuldeep Chaudhary.
Hi, Dr. Jaswinder, Dr. Chaudhary.
Yeah, these are our team
Thank you,
members who
sir.
have been working day
Thanks,
in, day
dear.
out for
Welcome, dear.
program success.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. I would like to make another announcement. Students who have not paid the fee, who are outsiders, certificates will not be given to you people. Our authorities considerate enough that they said, let them attend, let them gain knowledge out of the people, out of the experiences of people. Don't stop them. Make them attend this workshop, but you will not be given e-certificates, those who have not paid. Right, sir. Thanks a lot.
Dr. Bajaj, just one sec. Yeah. Please carry my message to your university authorities. Okay, that they are very thoughtful about the students. Okay, for organizing this kind of event during this time. Okay, they are really very creative.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So
Thanks
I
a
really,
lot, sir.
my accolades to you and your entire team and the university authority as well. Keep it up.
Right, sir.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Right, Jay. Let's move ahead tomorrow for tomorrow's program. Thanks a lot, Smriti.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Did a good job. Yeah. Sitting more than 2 hours. It's almost 3 hours. Chalo. See you everybody tomorrow. Yeah. Take care. And for tomorrow, we need more participants keep on going down. So we need to talk about it. Abhi we'll end. Let's go back to our families. Chalo, take care. Thank you.